we were saying, maybe in for a couple of days here ahead of the Fed of back and forth action and wait and see action before we get comments from Fed Chair Powell coming up on Wednesday afternoon at this time. Make sure you're with us live at this time. We'll bring you not only the Fed decision, but also the press conference that could be the more, not only exciting, but the more important part of what happens on Wednesday for the overall market. Yeah, we'll talk a little bit about CCG. Wow. We'll talk a little bit about the overall market here as well. As we said, kind of just chopping back and forth. Not much has changed on this since last we looked. Microsoft a little bit worse off now. 0.8 to the downside overall, 0.5% for both Meta and Google there. Apple having a nice day, 2.3%, helping to offset. As far as big tech is concerned, and add a little bit of strength anyways, there is a fair amount of green in this group, the hardware group or tech side. AMD, Intel, a few of the other chip names or chip-related names back in positive territory as well. Oracle standing out as notably weak there, 1.8% to the downside. Tesla also still notably weak, 2.3%. Coming off that note that Elon says is utterly false as far as that Wall Street Journal reports. He tweeted, if you missed it, that that note that Wall Street Journal was suggesting they're talking with officials from Saudi Arabia on planning a possible manufacturing facility there. Completely false, according to Elon. Not happening whatsoever. Retail names up here. I saw a few fly by to the downside as well. Walmart, Home Depot, about 0.5%, but Amazon 0.6 there, leading the way as far as those are concerned. If you're with us this morning, not only the market is taking a breather, but the dollar also back to break even. Yields are also back to break even as we start into the final 2 hours here. I mentioned this morning, both the 2-year and the 10-year this morning took out August highs and then completely reversed. The 2-year is actually negative now. 10-year still holding around break even, but a lot of wait and see on tap maybe for this afternoon as we head towards Wednesday, guys. But all right, Neil, let's talk CCG. What do we need to know here?
Let's just say this about CCG. This symbol is blocked at Day Trade the World for liquidity reasons. Like, it's so illiquid, its volume is so low that it is blocked. And I actually would doubt whether they'd even open this one up if there was a request made. It's done 287,000 shares worth of volume. It's halted, I mean, more times than I care to count. I'm sure you guys can count if you really wanted to. So this is a huge risk. I would never, like, buying a top at this is almost, like, it's almost nuts. Like, there's nothing justifying this except for low float stock squeezes to the upside because the float gets soaked up and then it just keeps on going and going. It's halted at 125 with a tap of 139. If you're already in it, no one ever went broke taking profit. And holding something like this overnight is obviously very risky as well. So you will not see us trading this. Sometimes these are like, if you can get it at the bottom and somehow risk something. That's not even one of those because, like I said, it's blocked for us. So good luck. It is currently tapping up. So if you happen to be long in it, it's kind of still going to the upside. I would never trade this without a stop. This could be back at $60 in 30 minutes or 10 minutes or 15 minutes or whatever it might be. So we'll get that one out of the way. Anyone that wants updates on the taps when it halts, we have no issues doing that. Just you won't see us trading that. That's for darn sure.
Yeah. You didn't buy that thing Friday?
I know. Well, I don't think it.
No, you're only up 1,000%. I mean, what would you do?
It didn't exist Friday. I think it's some kind of IPO, and I think it's pronounced Shay. I don't know. Shay. It's CHE Group.
Yeah, Shay.
Shay.
Yeah, like Shay.
Shay.
Michael Shay. Yeah, that's how I.
Danielle Shay, but Michael Che
it's spelled that way.
I know it's spelled Shay. Daniel Shay is SH.
Yeah, okay, I get the shout out. I like it. Yeah, so I don't know, man. I mean, you're coming back in. I was posting all my positions on the midday show with these guys as well, and it's every single thing I said before. I'm short everything. You can see the bottom, not long anything. Although the market is just stuck right here, we're just trying to short every time we get back into these highs, and it's just like nothing's really coming down too much right now. We're short. I mean, this is one that's a relatively new one that I might have not put in the chat here just in the last half hour. We've been shorting Disney, but it's just coming back. Like, we started shorting it at the 200 period, then it came up and we're like, okay, let's just hold this against 55.60 here. So it's like, hoping, and you never like this word hope, but like just hoping for the market to fall down here. And we got Disney on board right now. I mean, at least we got this going. We're $1 in the money, although we did get stopped out of Tesla earlier right there on the move up. But we took some money shorted it, stopped, back in, and now back to basically, I mean, it's $1 in the money, but kind of like flat on the trade there. And then, of course, we're still short the NASDAQ. We've been short, as I said, every time it tries to pop up here, we're trying to get more and more. We didn't get any there, but this has been a good trade today as well, short the TQs. We've never really been in trouble. We got stopped at one time right there, but right back in, right back in. So this is an up symbol for us. So we're really glad that we switched over to the futures a little bit today. As I'm still watching that Che group, man. I mean, like Neil said, CCG. I mean, we didn't talk about it earlier on in the day. It wasn't really, it didn't start to go until 11:30-ish, right? And so there it is. I guess it's an IPO. Did we find out more about this from anybody in the chat?
I can't find anything really.
You?
It's a SPAC?
Okay,
Oh, that's
SPAC
even worse.
turned into something here.
Oh,
so there it
goodness.
goes. 124. You know, it's only tapping 140 right now. So, you know. But I mean, until the watch, I'm going to say, until the SEC gets involved, and does their job and says, you know what, maybe we shouldn't allow these companies to split with XYZ amount of a float, or even reverse split, so on and so forth, and allow these guys to get their stock price just absolutely annihilated day after day to the downside, then I don't know what's stopping I mean, you have multiple splits on Mullen and whatever. The story's been true for that name as well.
The problem here is that, like, no sophisticated people are buying the stock at 100.
Yeah.
It's just people getting trapped in shorts, and then maybe some retail getting stuck at the top, and then you probably have some hedge funds just banking in on the short when this thing is way too high. So if their job is to protect the everyday investor, then how in the hell are these things happening all the time? And no one ever talks about it. It's so strange. Like, you won't hear
people that got blown out. Like, they're not protecting. Yeah, like you said, they're not protecting anybody.
They're not protecting anybody.
Get
like,
up there.
do your job. Anyways, whatever.
Bear has to start.
Why are we
showing his teeth here?
I don't know.
What do
Hey,
a bear
how about
show,
this? This will
claws
turn
or
the market.
teeth?
This will turn the market.
Oh no! Don't do it. No.
No, this is good.
Oh, you're turning it. Okay.
This is
well,
good.
trying
This
to
is
jinx
good.
it, I guess.
Every single time I do this, then the market turns.
But the market. So the thing is, it wouldn't be surprising. We're gonna go back to Brendan in a second. I wouldn't be surprised if we kind of get. And I know maybe we're supposed to say
That's a
how
nice shirt, by
exciting
the
the
way.
market's supposed to get people going here, but let's just be honest about it. There's a couple of days until Fed, so we literally have 48 hours now until the Fed comes with a 99% chance of nothing happening. So everyone's going to wait for Fed speak, which could be, you know, a painful
Nothing.
a painful couple of days here. We have Elon Musk, you know, disputing some of those talks there with Saudi Arabia.
We get Instacart tomorrow.
Apple. So. Oh, yeah, exactly. Okay, good. We get Instacart tomorrow. I can't wait till we talk about ARM. I'm sure we're going to get over to that. So let's go back to the desk and see what's on tap.
We'll jump into what we were discussing this morning. If you're with us in the pre-market, if you're not, make sure you're with us every single pre-market. We come on at 8:30, guys. We get you ready for the open at 9:30 with a whole hour of pre-market fun. This morning we were discussing Tesla. Yeah, we'll touch on ARM and how that played out today. 3 days in a row downside coming off that IPO. But this was the headline on Tesla. If you missed it, Elon then, it was about 10 after 11 or a quarter after 11, something like that. Elon came out and said, completely false. Yet another, I think he said, yet another completely false story from the Wall Street Journal on Tesla.
Tell us how you really feel, Elon. Yeah, well, that wasn't the only country that he was associated with. We know that he had a meeting with President Erdogan in New York, and you know Erdogan is trying to get him to build a Tesla gigafactory there. Elon told him Turkey's on one of the short list of countries that Tesla's looking at. We already know there's a gigafactory under construction in Mexico. Construction equipment has been reported at that site already. We know that he's looking at Spain, the south of Spain, as another one. So yeah, interesting look. Again, more spending, more capex with shrinking margins. So you got to, question it. But he's Elon.
Yeah, I think if you want an understanding of how much this mattered, I mean, just go back to when that happened this morning at 11:10 or 15, and look at the chart. There was literally no reaction to that at all, guys.
Not really. I mean, Tesla had a flush at the open. I think everyone saw that. And tried to play off of support down here from last week. That was a 266.5. You can see there's your breakout. There's your support once. There's your support twice. So it fell down into that level. Kind of got myself trapped catching the falling knife. But even so, like even if I don't go long here and just immediately stop it out underneath and sort of take that 50-cent hit, it's not as if there was a back end at that price anyways. Like it flushed another $3 off of the level, and it wasn't until about 10 o'clock when that level held some significance, bounced through VWAP, and then it just broke the level again. So like the level I liked was never going to be any good today. So I don't think there wasn't a path for my strategy, dip buying Tesla, to have worked. What I will say is it's showing you a little something here in terms of a semi-triple top at about 268.5 for the afternoon trade. I think that can come into play. But the market is trying to just consolidate up at this high, which can make it range bound. So I think you are looking at that 268.5 for resistance on Tesla here today, down 2.5%, outpacing the market. Not a great day for Tesla. Not a great day for the Wall Street Journal either. Like I kind of feel like the mainstream business, print, news, media has been taking it on the chin with these stories. Bloomberg at least 2 or 3 times in the last year, and now Wall Street Journal. I don't know. Not a good look. Not a good look.
It's not a good look, but I kind of play a little bit different possibly there. Then you're taking just Elon at his word, which, I mean, the thing is, maybe he didn't want the cat out of the bag a little bit. Like,
which is fair.
Sometimes when there's smoke, there's fire. So I don't want to say that, but like you said, though, I mean, you know, I've doubted Bloomberg and all these guys. I mean, they just have people looking for stories, right? And who's to blame
no
for
way.
that? So we went short on Tesla. First of all, we were long early at 266. That didn't work. We got out. Well, we got out. First was 268, and then 266.50, and then out at 266. So we do start the day with some flush down actions on Tesla. But right now we're back short again. And let's just talk about what we did. I just kind of used this 268.50 right there as a recent top. We were short initially at 268. Our best out there, 267.25, back down to the 50 period. Then it ripped up, and we actually got taken out. So it was just this, 267.70, 268, out at 268.25, but then back in. So it's like a 50, 60 cent hit there, about a $1 hit there, about a 70 cent win there, and now we're back in $1, trying to get it. We're red on the stock today, so let's not forget about that, but we're not red that much. So hopefully this will be able to come right back in, and Tesla will continue to march a little bit lower here. Again, I want to be short the market. I'm just going to talk about this and why we're there. We'll talk about the crypto rally in a minute. And by the way, that CCG just halted at 161.45. So, like,
this is ridiculous.
Good job. Like, send a note to your senator if you've just lost thousands, maybe, and then he can just look at it. But right there, we'll wait. As long as the NASDAQ is still underneath the 50 period, underneath that sort of initial high, then we will continue to be short this name and see if we can retrace back to VWAP. Like we said, if this is going to be an inside day, a complete inside day means you go to VWAP. So that's pretty much what it means. So let's see if that does hit it here. If we're just in the middle here of the afternoon, then we probably, what that would mean is that we hover around the 50 period or 100 period moving average, and that's what we're doing right now. So until the market can figure itself out, I don't want to sit in here and just get blown out on the short because we're sitting around waiting. So we are going to have to start to take a little bit of profit. Like Disney just went back into the 40s again, and we didn't take anything out. So I don't know. I don't want to take 10 cents or anything on Disney, but there's CCG before I throw it back to the guys.
What's TOOO?
That's that Havana Woody one. TOOO?
No, in your position.
Oh,
I know.
QQQQs.
Okay, no, yeah, the tail on the Q
It
gets
shuts down the
taken out.
Qs. Actually, can we make that note maybe?
Why?
Maybe the Qs could be a different font. But I don't know how you do that. You can't.
Just make it
can't just
lowercase.
Yeah, but
So
then
people-
then it's going to look.
I know, but it's like...
Watch what we're talking about. See, it goes Disney.
No, because
now
for a
look.
split second I thought it was something else. That's all.
Yeah, like that TTOO. Yeah.
Yeah, there's TTOO. Like, it's
Imagine
just...
I was short that at $40.
You'd be... Oh, my goodness.
Anyways, just quickly over to my screen, quickly, and I'll throw it back because there it is right here. Just for those of you that are stuck or wondering what the hell's going on, here's CCG 175 now is the tap after closing 161. So if you're long, that's fantastic. If you're short, then you're just praying. There's finally a turnaround. Oh, nope, it's back to 177. Okay, so anyways, let's go talk about crypto, something else that people tend to mock a little bit.
It's China's leading auto insurance technology platform.
Huh.
Che Group. It's actually 4 million shares, or 4.6 million shares on the float. So it's 300,000 today.
Okay.
It's 4.5 million float.
Oh, it's smaller.
Whatever. Let's talk about, I mean, this crypto thing ended up being a bit of a bust today.
Yeah.
All of these things faded the initial gap, and we're right back to basically where they ended on Friday. That TTOO, by the way, is just popping up. But anything on crypto for you?
Well, just this morning we had the headline that Europe was going to adopt or implement the first European spot Bitcoin ETF. It's going to trade under Bcoin on the Amsterdam Euronext exchange. So that was a look there, and that was the only catalyst that I could see to warrant the 27,000 break. But we below it now, so.
I mean, when you have things like Prime Impact Acquisition 1 to talk about, guys, Coinbase is kind of quiet today.
Coinbase is basically like Berkshire Hathaway compared to like CCG or whatever that stock is. What did you call that? Something
Prime something 1.
Prime Impact Acquisition 1. Like, if you were trying to come up with a SPAC title that sounded as completely nonsensical and fraudulent and like just suspect as possible, that's pretty much what I would have written there. I can't even remember it. It's just, and I just said it like 3 seconds ago, and that's how ridiculous it is. So my trading on Mara sucked today because I was looking for long. I mean, that's, again, like if you were looking for longs in the morning on anything that was crypto related, you're probably not happy with it. I was looking for the dip buy into 10. Kind of got bamboozled into, it bounced right off of like 10.08. So I got in there at like 11s and added some in the teens. It looked like it was starting to go, ran into resistance at 10.25 and then dumped out under 10. If you like a level and it trends against that level, sometimes you should just jump into the short trade. I didn't do it, but if you look at it, you reverse off it, then shorts off 10 were absolute gold on Mara. It wasn't my look, but sometimes you say reevaluate the stock, using the price levels that you liked, and if it sets something else up, then you should try to take it, because it then rejected the 10 level once with a wick, and then just again right here at about 11 o'clock. So your bias can get the best of you. It got the best of me. Level was good, just wasn't willing to flip directions on this name, and it sucked. Coinbase, pretty much almost the same thing. The only thing is Coinbase somehow held up better. So Mara just kept on making lows. Coinbase held 81 and is still holding 81. So file that one away, that Coinbase is a little bit stronger for reasons that I don't quite understand myself, but it is what it is, and Coinbase is still up on the day. But yeah, I should have been able to somehow flip my thoughts on Mara when it couldn't hold that $10 level. It should have been a short off of that for the afternoon time. All you got to do is follow that one as an L and sort of walk away. Even Bitcoin did reverse that, broke out 27, kind of came back in there as well. So even that trend gave it to you. I am in, well, are we going to talk big cap tech? No, we're not. Okay. Usually we're going to get to it.
We'll have all the time after this.
We will have all the time. I just wanted to mention that I just got into Microsoft for the first time today. Softy is hopefully the only weak name, or one of the weak names. Trading down 0.5%. It has a double bottom, but this lower high in here to VWAP. I got the first curl like this wick into the 328.5, and I'm looking to add at VWAP or maybe on this little curl. It's at least stair stepping down. So it's been ugly enough shorting some of these moves on the moves to the high, but at least this one looks like it's weak underneath VWAP. If the market does not break out, this feels like a chance to get back into that double bottom 327.
I want to give a big shout out here to Jay Lee. I don't know if anybody knows who Jay Lethal is. Shout out to wrestling fans. But all right, so I don't know if this is true or not. I'm just reading what he's talking about here. China's lost over 10 million cars in recent floods. We should be shorting any Chinese insurance companies. So my response is, find me a name. Let me know, because I don't know any Chinese insurance names, and whether or not it's big. Maybe there's American names that are over there. I doubt it, because of obviously for some of the reasons that they're not included in their financial system. So I don't think that would work. But you let us know, Jay Lee, right there. Yeah, look, we could talk about everything, Bitcoin related or whatever, but you're still under 27,000. That's been a pretty key level. That's 26.8. As you can see, all the big crypto names generally here, this is like the top 30 or 40 listed, 1, 2, 3, 5. I mean, this is just the ones that I follow. All up today, all up nicely over the week. And I think that when you're going to look at crypto, at this point, either you're scalping it and you're just going back and forth off key levels, or you're trying to dollar cost average one way or the other, either into the short or into the long. So yeah, not much to talk about. We just talked about some of the big names there. I think if you're going to look at anything, I mean, GBTC, we had a huge move up. Since then, it's been pretty quiet since that decision by the courts there, up to 21. That was just a couple weeks ago. Now it's faded back, and it's trying to make its way back in there. So we'll have to watch out for GBTC and ETHE and all that as we continue to go. So for me, You know, BITO is a good name. What? Not even on there. BITO. There it is. ProShares Bitcoin ETF. Click it, and now have a quick look to see what this is doing. So again, if you want to trade something a little cleaner, there's a big move down here. Wow, just right now in BITO. So yeah, that must be off that 27. So again, you know, interesting name to look at there. I still like Michael's idea with Mara just because of the short float, but I don't know if Mara's ever going to get squeezed, but it does add some juice to the fire. So BITO there, if you want to get your, you know, your hands wet and don't want to trade on exchange somewhere, you could trade, or on a crypto exchange, you could trade right here with BITO and have it protected in your IRA or whatever you're trading.
All right, let's talk ARM. Breaks that IPO price, back above it right now, but wow, gives it all back. We're all the way back. That was this morning. Bernstein out with initiation at underperform with a $46 price target. So we didn't get there today, but hey, there's always more days to come.
Yeah, and they didn't like this one. You know, basically they said that they didn't have enough exposure to China and that the open source competitors could pose a problem for them. I mean, like I said this morning, if you're going to be in this one for a while, make sure that you have your ear and you're focusing on the microchip sector for cell phones, because this is where the majority of their exposure is, Brenda. What's wrong, Brenda?
I don't want to interrupt you, but
fine.
210.
Oh.
It's tapping now. 210, guys.
Wow.
I'm just going to sell my long.
Like, it's so ridiculous. I can't even believe that's happening, to be honest. Like, whatever. We'll get to that.
Is anybody, I want to know, is anybody
No
in the
way.
chat actually long?
I don't think
I just, like, I don't want, this is not like a flex. I just want to know, is anybody long CCG? Because we'll keep talking about it. It's interesting to show it and all that kind of jazz. But, like, 210.
Because nobody's buying up here.
I just want to know if someone's long. I mean, I don't know if it's.
Nobody's
congrats
buying
to
up
myself. Barranquilla saying maybe they're long. Sean, you are doing good with Tesla. Oh, shit. Thank you. We just sit here and watch this shit. Right now, $2 in the money now with Tesla. Thank you so much for bringing that up. The reason why I'm not like overly.
Greg says in at 40.
Someone's in at 40? Yes,
See,
sir.
actually, that's the last trade that made like logical sense. No, seriously, because that trade at 40, I think that's in here. Like it's a consolidation break. It's not really moving all that insane at about 1 o'clock, and then it goes into an up halt, opens and essentially breaks 40. The previous halt price is 38.23. So that means you could be long at 40 with a stop at 38.20 essentially. So you're risking $2.50. And if it does stupidity, I mean, if it just has to get to 50 in your 4 to 1 on that trade, like that's the last trade that I think made any kind of, maybe even in here at like 50 you could have done something, but once it does this, I think you're past that. So congratulations. We always talk about if you're not in these early, you're not in them, because when it comes down, it's going to be absolutely nasty. Is it supposed to be? Oh, that's why you mentioned Chinese auto insurance. This is supposed to be Chinese auto insurance, which I think is hilarious if that's supposed to be something worth shorting. But anyways, if you're in it, I hope you've taken something out, because 5x is pretty darn good. Trailing stops are okay. The only downside to trailing stops with all these halts is if it goes into like a halt, it could gap down a ridiculous amount, and then your trail out is just wherever it happens to open. That's the danger of using only a trailing stop in there. So I'd just be a little bit cautious with that. We're supposed to be talking about. Did we go over ARM yet? I don't know.
No, I mean, I can.
Did
you
we
can.
go to?
Yeah, whatever you want to do.
Okay,
I can do it after.
We didn't go over ARM, but we'll probably. I can still hear you. We'll probably both be able to talk about this one. For me, my regret will be, I like the 58 breakdown. We can kind of go over this. You don't have a lot of levels on an IPO. We'll discuss this tomorrow with Instacart, because there are some levels that we can go over. That's the key thing. When a company is established and takes a long time to go IPO, they have a bunch of different raising rounds. And when what happens to Instacart, where it was like 4x evaluation, there's a bunch of prices that they raised at in the last few years that were to go up, you're going to hit some of those levels, and those levels do matter. So we'll go over that tomorrow. But 58 on ARM, there was your bottom from the first day, found support there. It was a flat bottom break. Unfortunately for myself, I did get back into the trade, but my first trade off the bat was we're going short breakdown. I gave it to 58.5 on the initial stop. I got back into it, but we took the L there. I had a short off the bottom that I lost like 20 cents on. That wasn't so bad. And then we had one more stop out in here, 57.75 into this 58.30 high. Jumped right back in when it wicked the high. Second, it was a double bottom here. We jumped back in the trade and then back in there. I was kind of thinking it would get to VWAP. I was just in the short, 56.30. Looking for it to maybe get to VWAP, so I stopped out in there. I still think it's only a short. What you have to consider, though, is if it breaks 55 to the downside, it's SSR at like 54.30 something. So if it were to break 55, it goes 10% down shortly after that break. That's the only reason I don't know if I like a 55 break. So I think if you want to be short this, you're short into that number and not necessarily short underneath it, unless it's going much, much further. So, you know, ARM, again, it's a short till it's not. I almost feel as if Instacart comes out tomorrow. That could be an interesting, like, no one's going to be paying attention to ARM when Instacart opens, and I don't wonder if ARM isn't the short at that moment. Like, whatever that price is, that's probably the best opportunity to short it in the afternoon when everyone's eyes are on Instacart.
So Neil and I are going to be trading ARM a little bit different here today. Obviously, quicker outs for Neil. I've been really lucky to be able to hold on to this, and ARM is my #1 stock here today. So again, you know, trying to be specific on what we're doing. It's written on the sticky note. We were just short there, 58, 59. That's what we wanted to do. It actually blew up here to 58 and change. Remember, at this time, the 200 period was at 59. Okay, so that's why we were shorting into here. And then now it's downside move. So now you can see the 200 period is all the way here at 56. But I mean, this last reload right there, 57.75, come on. This went down to 55. I mean, this has been an absolute monster trade for me. It's my #1 symbol today. And just glad to have been shorting it the whole time. So right now we only have 15%, maybe a little bit less than that on for ARM, thinking that we could break a little bit lower. I'm just going to use VWAP as my out now. So if it breaks higher, actually, you know, because we don't have that much on, let's just use this recent high. I mean, it's not even a recent high. If we're going to be recent highs, we should be getting out right here if we break above that. But let's just see if ARM wants to puke all over itself. And that would be great because it already did it right there. We talked about it. There's the 56 IPO price. So it broke it. It also did that on IPO day. If you remember when I was upset because we wound up losing on that trade, and it was a great trade. We are definitely pleased with the ARM IPO, but you know, it's back into those levels right there, and it has respected 55. So let's see if it gets back down. You know what, man? I mean, I think we should just respect VWAP. We've been trading off of that for a very, very long time. So let's do it again. A break higher of 57 and we'll get out of ARM. But again, guys, it's been today a very, very good trade for us. So we'll be happy with that. And then just quickly on the TQs, you are breaking lower on this as well, as here goes the NASDAQ down to the downside. So let's just put some more bids there. See if we get a fill. Double check where our fills are. 95, 98, 85. So here we go. Let's see if we get a nice little bid here on TQs and throw it back to the desk.
All right, not much to do on Disney today. Back to basically exactly flat here. In fact, right now, coming off of a couple of very volatile days, going back to Thursday of last week, where that ABC News headline came out. Possibility of a sale coming from Disney on that front. Bloomberg this morning then, with one of the headlines this morning that actually turned out to be true today, or theoretically, is at this point still true, that they're in talks with a number of different parties in India for the sale of both TV and streaming rights in that country. But here's Disney dead flat.
Yeah, and we heard a couple of conflicting reports last week. First, it was Nexstar, I believe, the initial one being reported by Bloomberg. Then Reuters came out and mentioned billionaire Byron Allen as an interested party for $10 billion or so for ABC. And now they're spinning off their holdings in India. But this is not unusual because when Bob Iger came back, he made it very specific that he was going to focus on their core business, and he's judged that this is not part of their core business. So maybe more to come.
Yeah, definitely more to come. The market's saying that today as well, guys. Undecided, I guess, is the end result here.
Yeah, so just before we go to Disney, I do want to mention that in Netflix in a second, but just took it out here on Microsoft, and my next one is going to be off of this local bottom. So 327.50 will take some out. It was just rolling into the downside there as the market's trying to break through the bottom end of the range. I think if that happens, Softy gets through the low. I didn't do the higher time frame thing. So Microsoft is breaking. Look, it's going to barring something crazy, it's going to close beneath the 50 period today. So it's a bit of a reversal of this little upward trend it's had since bouncing off of 310. That could mean we're headed back to said 310 level, not necessarily today. Disney was I don't want to call it a nothing burger, but it was disappointing because I really wanted this to close above 86. Kind of confirmation, get above that 50 period on the daily. Unfortunately, all it did is reject that at the open, but it's making higher lows. Like if this market could find any strength, this breaking out the top at 86 is still valid. That's a 50 period on the daily. Obviously, it's a resistance level as well, so I think you can play it in that direction, but it's not really doing anything in the afternoon. It would need some serious strength to get up there and maybe take that out. If you reject the 50 period, then the trend is pretty obvious whenever it's been doing that. If it closes underneath and then holds that tomorrow, you're probably thinking trend right back in there on Disney. Was looking for the other thing to happen. It just didn't. Like, the good thing about trading is if something doesn't set up, you don't have to trade it. So the only way I was looking for the Disney long would have been it breaking above the 50 period on the daily and that 86 break, and it never happened, so you don't have to take the trade. Disappointing, because I thought it could have been a good one, but what are you going to do? Like, the market was strong. I felt like that break would have been really good for Disney had it happened. But, on to the next.
Yeah, really, it kind of does suck here because we've been short basically Disney here since 1:30 or so, and the market since 1:30 has fallen down about, it's not too much. This is the NASDAQ. I mean, the ES is a little bit better. From 4,500, where we were at, down to 4510, sorry, down to 4505, so only 5 handles, okay. And I've just been watching Disney here. I guess it's the tech names. I'm used to more dramatic moves, but Disney right now, it's not doing anything. I have the outset here if we break 55, so we've just been shorting it, getting some out. I just shorted it again here at 50. It went down to 46. But we're short at 47. It looks like we'll probably take a dime worth of a hit. I mean, the best we've ever gotten is 40s. So, trying to get 1-to-1, actually. And so that's where the stop is going to be at right now. Just back on Tesla right now. We want to hold this, of course, but if we break the 50 period of 267, then we will be out for $1.20. Okay, so this was in the money all the way down there to 266. Was just debating taking it out, but honestly got a little bit greedy thinking that the market was wanting to flush down. Obviously, that's not going to be the case right now, but 265 is a good out. But let's just put our stop. You know where our stop is right now, just to give you guys an idea? So we're short at 268.20. Our stop was 268.50. So right now, 25 cents worth of risk to be in the money, $2. So right there, that's 8-to-1 8-to-1. Let's call it 7-to-1 on the risk to reward. So it's already paying off. So if you're in this name, you could get it out if you're just playing the R2R game. I actually wanted to see that because what you're not seeing on Tesla is this. We've already got long and lost on it. So right into this level again. But there's the flush down. Let's see if we can hold it. But anyways, back on Disney, just a little disappointing there that it's not really doing much. So if it wants to go up, I feel like it does want to go up today, which is good. I mean, we own Disney, but up today looks like where it wants to settle. So we're about to get stopped out on Disney on a break of 55.
126 right now on the reopen. It's about to get real. Micron, nothing. Can we just say next?
I don't know.
It's been one of those days.
Deutsche Bank likes them. They said that there's potential upside here. There's been a lot of cutting in DRAM's pricing, so they think it's priced well. They also see, a possibility of upside here with the rise of AI servers, and Dell did really well. So showing there could be a new PC cycle coming. So we'll have to wait and see.
Clearly, the market did not care.
No.
I mean, this thing could reopen $100 lower than where it closed, guys.
My goodness.
Exactly. And so, one of the things that you'll never see us do, at least, I never want to speak in certainties. I'm pretty certain about this, but, you shouldn't. I'd like to hope that we're never, pumping stock or trying to, it's like, especially with something like that CCG. There is nothing more dangerous than that because anybody caught buying that top, you're talking about 50% retracements. That's a hard thing. For what the kind of things that we look at, it's very difficult to lose 50%. You know what I mean? If that happens to you, that's usually the kind of trade that blows up accounts and destroys careers and that kind of a thing. Micron was, like you said, nothing burger. I mean, this one stinks. It was stronger than all the chip names early. Then the market rallied and it didn't go anywhere. So fade 71, that's what it feels like to me. So when all the other chip names were recovering and this was supposed to have an upgrade, all it did is reject the 71 level. So that just tells me maybe you short the 71 if you get a chance at it. It's been a relatively strong stock on the daily, but if we get to VWAP, maybe it's a VWAP play today, and then tomorrow you look at 71. I don't feel like we're getting there to 71, unfortunately. So a bit of a nothing burger on Micron. There, you know, to my chagrin, I'm looking back, and look, hindsight's going to be 20/20. That's just how it works. But that 100 on AMD, like it was a liquidity grab underneath that 100, and then it just kept on going to the upside. Now, if this rolls over and gets into VWAP off this top, I do think like Micron probably is a good short as well. But this breaking back underneath 102 looks pretty spicy for AMD. Andrew Salazar, at some minute I'll have a look at Mullen. We're done the rundown now. We can get into some other things, but yeah, I haven't really paid too much attention to Mullen today, but I'll have a look at that for you, Andrew.
All right, so just quickly here, the only thing I did there was on AMD. I mean, I lost, this is going to be my reddest name today is AMD, and it's because, exactly, we hit that 100 short, which was fine. I mean, our best outs was like in the 60s, but then it's like we didn't get enough out. Then when it came back up, we started to try to respect VWAP and the 50 period and all that kind of stuff, and then we got stopped out right there on a 101 break. So I don't know if we can zoom in even just, there it is. So here's the short. And then there it is at the 50, there it is at the, I mean, again, at that time, you have to rewind it, but I guarantee you there was VWAP or something that was there. And then there's the 101 short, and then there's me getting blown out. So that was definitely slap a big fail on that trade. Now, since then, we tried to short again at 102. This was a good one the first time at 102 all the way back. Like, this is what I mean. Like, there's 101.80, and here's the outs like at $100.80. So there's like dollar clubs right there. But then when it came back up, you know, we tried to short it again, out for a little bit, but then blown out on the top. This would have been about flat. So again, didn't make enough back there because we had a much bigger position earlier on. And then right now, this has been fine, but because we were so gun shy, we just kind of scalped it out, and it looks like we didn't get anything out at the bottom either. So yeah, AMD, I like it, but I don't like it enough. And then NVIDIA had that big bottom move there today where I think it flushed down to, what, 425? Something like that, and we talked about the, 423 right off the open. And then since then, it's kind of been a rocket ship on the upside, right? Nice big move there, about $7 or $8 straight, $10 straight up from 424 to 434. Kept on going, and right now you're still respecting, and we zoom in that 200 period right there. So, all right. So far, so good. Since we've been talking, man, a lot of the positions have just really done nothing. So we're still waiting for Tesla. $2 in the money almost stopped us out. Let's hope that this can come back into 265 as the NASDAQ's falling back in. We just got out some more of our NASDAQ, but let's go to Brendan and get a read on.
A rundown brought to you by Trade Ideas, real-time scanning and alerting used on the desk by everyone you see on the show. See what's moving in the moment. Check out the QR code, bottom right corner of the screen, guys. Take advantage of this if you haven't. Great deal, 20% off. TraderTV20. Shout out to our friends over at Trade Ideas.
All right. Capital preservation time. Yeah, make sure you check all that out. Let's get going. Scan that, this, and everything else that's on the screen right now. But just quickly, Disney just came back. And again, no Disney, no cry, except for we have Disney, so we are crying a little bit right now. Nice move up to 55. That was about as close as it could be, literally 1 cent away from getting stopped out. So we had to make sure that, you know, again, we are watching this very, very carefully because that was close to getting stopped out. So when it came back in there, we could get out for 1 penny loss. We're going to do that. So we just got 2 pennies, I guess. So we just got some 49s there out of 25%. Okay, so whatever. Hopefully it drops back down, but now we need, you know, that's a 2 cent hit, so we need to get out at least at 45 to make up for it. But I don't have any bids till 40s, so hopefully that will drop down. Tesla's doing good, and then here's the talk on the TQs. I thought I was bidding 99s or 98s. I'm bidding 95s. Okay, so hopefully we dip down into 95 again and get that fill. Maybe I'll change to 96. But so far, so good on the futures, man. I mean, we're positive on it. We said we'd switch over and start to look at some futures trades. So that's exactly what we've been doing. Because look, market's bleeding here, and I'm struggling with, not really, I mean, ARM's $1.30, AMD 70 cents, but it's Disney that's really getting me going here because this is the stock that I'm in the most right now. So let's just continue to drip down a little bit here with the NASDAQ. I'm going to bid some 97s here.
Yeah, and I promised I would have a look at Mullen. We did talk about this one this morning, even on Lunch Money, like 60 cents is a pretty good support level for the stock. It's just, it never quite got there. Would have been SSR if it did make it to that price. You have a double top sort of brewing here in the mid-70s. It's still a stair step up. As long as this holds on to 60, it's still a stair step up. But remember, this is one of those reverse split bounces, which usually resolve themselves lower. Can it get to $1 this time? Every other time, it made it to $1 last time it bounced off here. Generally speaking, when you bounce off a level, make it to $1, I usually expect that the next bounce is going to be more shallow because that's what happens when a stock is trending down. It makes lower highs. So on that vein, there is a decent chance that this 75 is a local top, or the low 70s is a local top here, and this could be the turn for the move on Mullen. So I'd be very, very, if you got the long of 60 already and you bounced it, great. It just doesn't look as good like a third and fourth time through. Don't know that I would want to be fighting that one too much. I am still in Nikola from this morning, just to get that out of the way, because I like to mention what we're still in, but this isn't a new position. This was just a breakout from this morning. And for whatever reason, it won't seem to trail me out at 150, which I guess is a good thing, but I have a trail at $1.50. It's actually a bit of a flat bottom break if it takes out this 150 level. So got it in here off of, I almost said yesterday's high, Friday's high off that 135 wick, and then it dipped back in after breaking out that price. So grab the long off that, and I'll give it to 150 on the trail. I said I'd be shorting 170 to 175 if it got there. Obviously, you can see like Nikola did not get there. And if you see me in HS, that is a CSE stock here in Canada. So trades on the CSE, essentially just spread trading a penny stock. But not much to do. It's just basically sitting there taking every single penny. For what's in giggles, where we're opening back up. This is now halted for, actually, it's past 10 minutes, so it's probably going to open up any second now. The tap is 100, almost at $1.35, 135 off a 203 halt. This is what I mean about trailing stops past a certain point. Like, you might be long like 70 or 60 or something like that, and you could be trailing into the previous like halt price. Well, it might gap underneath that by like 20 or 30%. And so you just get the open price on that reopen. So it looks like 135 is the current tap for that name. Microsoft just opened back up, and that was correct. It looks like it opened right around the 130, so it is now headed back in. I don't know where the bottom is going to be. I'm just going to make up a number. Let's just say it'll bounce off 69.42 or something like that.
It's going to halt again.
So it'll halt down a couple times. It'll bounce at 69.42 and then go to 2,500 like HKD. I'm obviously joking, guys. But yeah, halted to the downside now. That's CCG doing what these types of stocks do, which is nonsense up, nonsense down, and hope we had fun. If you were long, someone in the chat said they were long at 40. You're still in the money. I hope you took some of that off. I got this wick on Microsoft, but it looks like it's bouncing off 37.70 instead of 50, which would be a lot nicer if it was 50s. But I'll just take what it wants to give here if I can get some 80s and clean up this wick for you guys. We'll be looking a little bit at some Apple as well in just a sec. Apple's got this. The 180 level looks pretty interesting. If the market were to break the highs, 180 looks like resistance on Apple, but that's been a strong stock all day.
Yeah, here it is, guys. And like Neil said, though, now you're tapping $92 on CCG.
Well, it's not
so,
funny.
I mean, this is literally what's happening, $92. So there's the rip up to 206. It has never stayed open. I mean, there, I guess, is 3 minutes somehow, 2 minutes, 2 minutes. And that might not even be 2 minutes, right? Just the way the candles are. So there it is right there, one little tick, and then now downside. So, okay. All right, so TQs was good for us, man. We just got a good fill down there at 97. We talked about that. ARM, let's have a quick look at ARM and see if there's anything going on that one. Nope. What else you guys want to trade? Tesla's still $2 in the money. I may change my stop now because now you're down here. That's two. Let's just change this right now to there because this is a good one. Wake up. I mean, we're $2 in the money on this, so you might be like looking and saying like, what, these guys aren't really, oopsies. These guys really aren't trading anything, but I mean, I'm already in a lot of these positions. So what is this price? I just want to put my stop for everybody. 266.75, so 266.81 or so for 100. Oops, that didn't work because I already had another stop order out. Oh, that's right. Got to cancel your first one. All right, 266.81. We'll do the same trade. There it is. It is accepted. So here we go. Hopefully a nice little downside push now coming for Tesla. Now that we've got that set up for you. AMD trying to go back again. Let's go. Let's make dreams happen here to the $2 club. But look at this. You're right back. Okay, so this is a good level for advanced micro devices. Let's put a bit out. Make sure we capture. There we go. We just took some out there on. Ooh, we went long on AMD. Okay, so we actually got one fill or two fills, overfill right there. We'll punch it out. So there it is. We are now done on AMD. It's going to look like we got in and out there because we did. We got overfilled. So there's a fill there at 102.10 out now of AMD. Get it out of there. That's another short that we've just hit. Good trade there. We were red. We still are red on the stock, but that made a little bit back there off 103. Again, we don't have as many shares as we did the other way around. Disney can go to hell. It's not doing anything, so let's go. Give me something else. What's going on with Palantir? None of my scanners are working. I mean, they're working, but I mean, they're not giving me anything. Here's a trade for us on Trade Ideas. Again, Citigroup, Robinhood, AMAT. These guys are all near, see, crossing VWAP, so they're all near VWAP right now, so we can go over to some of the banks. Let me just check out Robinhood. Seems a little more exciting to me, but the problem with Robinhood is it's kind of a trick when it says that, because just because it's, see, it's just approaching VWAP because VWAP is right here. So that's not a trade, but thanks, Michael Noss, for having me set up for that. You know, any trade like this that's heading VWAP is not that important. Let's just see if Citigroup is doing a move into VWAP.
I mean, it will be, but...
Again, so this looks like it's a nothing again. Yeah, so there we go. Kind of some barcode action right now, not much happening. So that's what we're looking for. What else you guys want to do? Oh, everyone wants to go TTOO. Okay, so T2 Biosciences, look, I'll jump at this, right? 325 million shares, great stock for day trading. Probably should be trading this. You guys have been yelling this for a minute, man. So again, from 42 up to 45, it looks like a good little move there on T2. But what's 50 Cent saying? Oh, my wife said a joke and said for me not to say this on the show because it's so cheesy. So here we go. What do you call? Oh no, I'm screwing this up.
Hey, it's okay.
What do you call a concert? Oh, who's in a concert that's 45 cents or something like that? Anyways, I'm brutalizing it, but one time I tell you the joke. So it's 50 Cent featuring Nickelback. See, so I got to laugh from everyone behind us, so there it is.
Was that Yanni?
Yeah, so it's like,
No,
what do you call, or what's a concert valued at 45 cents? Something like that. And then it's 50 Cent featuring Nickelback.
No, that's actually a good joke.
I thought that was, yeah.
No, that's a good joke.
She told that to me, and I kind of like laughed, so that's her joke.
Awesome.
Yeah, okay.
No, that is. I have
Don't steal it out there, guys, or if you do steal it, please say it properly and plan it out a little bit better than I did there. But that was funny.
What? It's a good joke. It's delivery,
yeah,
but
the delivery needs work. But I mean, other than that, I think it's pretty funny.
The problem is, like, my daughter always wants jokes during dinner, but like she'll have no idea. Like my wife will laugh. She'll laugh at it. Rebecca will laugh at it.
Okay, what does a ghost eat? Someone's saying here, Comp SRX1. So what is that? I don't know. We'll see. Blueberry pie? That's what I'm going to guess. Is that going to be blueberry pie? I don't know. We'll see. Anyway.
What cereal does Snoop Dogg not like?
Something about the Crips or something? He does a Crip walk, so Snoop Dogg.
I'll give you a second.
Something about dogs for sure. I'll have to think about that one.
It's Cheerios, because he don't love them O's.
Oh, he don't love them O's, but yeah, I love them hoes.
Even I chuckle at that one.
That's an okay one, yeah. The new Monday Night Football song goes tonight. I think it's with Snoop Dogg.
There's a new, he's on that? Okay,
yeah, he's on that track right now. The Snoop Dogg, I have a little problem with him because he has these things called have you heard the affirmations? He has like a thing with kids about affirmations. It's kind of like if you look into Snoop Dogg's history, it's like, why are these guys even supporting Snoop Dogg? But I like him, but it just goes back and forth with how like now he has all these deals with NFL when he was literally like, well, anyways, you guys just look it up. Like back in the days, like all that stuff that those guys were doing. But anyways,
he was a heck of a basketball prospect.
Yeah, he's tall and lanky.
He was a McDonald's All-American.
Really?
I'm pretty sure. I want to say when he was a teenager, he was legit. I remember hearing that when he first came out, because when his album dropped, and everyone was like, "Oh, Snoop Dogg," and they were like, "Calvin Brodus, McDonald's All-American," whatever that nonsense was.
Yeah.
So he could ball a little bit. You were mentioning, we were talking about TTOO. By the way,
Tesla.
Sean is not in TTO. That's TOOO. No, it's not. It's the triple Q.
Triple Q.
Yeah,
so
which
are going down.
Which are headed down. I did get that softy fill. Microsoft, by the way, so that is continuing downside. But that TTOO, the real one, I had this on the 40 break, Actually, I got this fill when I was up at the desk doing lunch money. Thankfully, like it didn't stop out. Like it kind of went in the money. I was able to get some out there, 41, 41 half, but I reloaded it. Kind of a mistake there. I didn't need to do that. And I didn't retake it when it got above the 40 area. So just should have gone back to the well for that 40 breakout. Looks as if that previous high at 42 is now new support. You're thinking like 50 isn't really that big of a level. It's like psychologically, yes. But on the daily chart, it's not a huge one, but 50 always seems to matter, so you want to respect it if it gets down there. I don't know if he was a McDonald's All-American. Again, he was a good basketball player. I will say that. McDonald's All-American's pretty elite, but I'm pretty sure he played at least
I'd say so, yeah.
At least I'm pretty sure he played AAU or something, whatever the heck it was back in there. Let's just get back. I want to look at the NASDAQ here because
It's
if
crip
you look
walk
at
time.
we've now broken channel to the downside on the futures. Let's look at the 15-minute because this is easier to see.
Let's go.
You've broken channel downside. That's why I like Softy. Apple has yet to really participate in this, but I feel like at some point, I mean, Apple's got to really roll over off these levels. There we go. Like Apple's kind of coming into the downside. I had to short off the top. I'm sure a lot of people did up that 79, but it has not really broken down past what were the best fills. Like 178.70 was about the best of it. So maybe that happens here. I don't think Nikola cares what the market's doing, so it should be fine in that regard. And I do like me some Micron short. It looks like it's trying to consolidate break to the downside here. I was looking for 70.50, but if we're already going, might just have to take it on this next breakdown on Micron. If you can't go up when the market's going up and you got the upgrade and had good news, then I feel like that should be a relatively weak name.
Yes, sir. And okay. Now we're starting to feel it a little bit here because guess what just happened, man? It's TQQ time, baby. And there it is, right back down to the downside. So we said, and I want to thank everybody in the chat as well because you guys were like, yo, you should just start trading futures and scrap all this other stuff. And right now, I'm looking over and I'm like, yeah, you know, like we should have traded futures from time. And here it goes. I mean, one day doesn't make a strategy, but there it is. Some nice shorts there. We never really went against us. We had one time where we got stopped out right there. This was a mistake, in and out, boom, right back down to the downside. But that was a stop out for sure when we took the high. So we had this short all the way down. We let it come back. We got stopped out on that high again, let it make another high, came back, did not get out right there on the TQs. And I want to show you why, because if you come up to here on the TQQs, we were going to play off this 40-30 level, which just kind of went back. So that was from Friday's kind of midday high there. So that's what we were going to play off of. So, you know, our last short was fine. We actually wanted to get more short. We were waiting at 24s. The highest we got to was 22. So that didn't hit. But this is a very good move down for me there in the future. So far, so good. And then here it comes. Let's go. Nice downside move there for Disney, hopefully coming back in. So, no, the Snoop Dogg stuff that I was talking about was basically he apparently, and you could check the records, was a legitimate pimp. So if you know, I'm not, pimping ain't easy, so there's no doubt about that. But, you know, the one thing is that whether or not you want to support those guys or not. But that's true of a lot of these guys, right? Like, unfortunately, when you grow up, that's, like, I can say whatever, but Jay-Z and all these guys have gone on to build huge businesses and completely change their image and everything.
Yeah,
like
there's
that.
a big difference when you're like a kid.
It's a huge difference
You allow people to
when
change
you're in
their
that
lives
situation.
around. Yeah, exactly.
You know, so anyways.
But just a couple of things.
Disney's
here.
finally going, by the way.
Yeah, low of the day just got hit. So remember, I mentioned
Oh, yeah, I forgot he's
327
also 60 years old.
in passing. He's
Snoop Dogg.
old dude.
Forgot about that. Remember that Ice Cube thing? Oh, you were here when we did that Ice Cube thing?
Yeah, like we were young when he came out. Like his album came out. Like I remember that. It was
Yes,
fire when it
sir.
came out. But it is what it is. Arrow's down. I'm out of Microsoft, but the reason why there's your double bottom at that 327 level. If it takes it out, it takes it out. I was kind of looking for that play into that level, and it isn't even bouncing. I didn't even get Micron there.
Disney is dropping
Micron
like it's
didn't
hot.
even fill as we get the downside. So we are absolute flush city now. Brampton gangster. AMC's not at 78 cents, by the way.
shit.
And Apple is now starting to participate. So Apple just took out that last channel down. If we're going to head to the bottom, Apple has the furthest to fall. So if we can get something off that 3/4, I'm going to go ahead and do that. Did not get to fill on Micron, but I think I keystroked my stop order on Micron. That's the only reason I wouldn't have gotten that. Because it broke pretty clean, that channel. Here, I'll show you guys. It is what it is. But, you know, keystrokes are a part of life. Obviously, I didn't get the punch as that broke the channel to the downside, but Micron is falling all right, that was like an easy flat bottom break on Micron, and now it's going to head down all the way to the lows. But, you know, sometimes you just miss the execution on that one. That's on me. I'll stop a fail on myself. That is a really, really easy flat bottom break. I don't know why I missed on that one, but it is what it is. We'll try to get some Apple downside. It looks like it's going to be flush city. This market, it just had all kinds of trouble breaking through the highs. And we said it's kind of trouble on a Fed week when everyone's sort of waiting around for you to really continue some of these moves in the afternoon. Like, who's buying highs on a break going into Wednesday? We get this time and time again. So sometimes that's why you see counter trend trading in the afternoons. Hopefully we get a bit of a bounce and I can short this Micron on a pop.
All right, Ryan, Tesla's now a $3 club, so you are right about that. So we'll just do this because, you know, it's been a while. We want to go golfing. We got another one. DJ Khaled now golfing a lot.
It's a little cold.
Right there. Yeah, I'm going hopefully October 1st. Look,
October?
Yeah. Dude, it's 24 degrees outside. Okay, so.
Today?
Today, yeah, 24 right now. I was just outside.
Okay.
I don't know what it is right this second.
It was like 10 when I left the house this morning.
21 right
It was
now.
freezing when I left the house.
Okay, so 21, you know, that's like 71 degrees Fahrenheit, maybe a little lower. Okay, so I just put this out into the universe, right? I was like, time to wake up, Disney. Like, what are you doing? It's sleepy time. And then I guess Disney decided to wake up. So there's the short on Disney, and now you're seeing there. So we just tweeted out our position again, like, follow me at Trader TV Sean. I'm tweeting these out before this is even happening. So there's the move down on Disney. So this is definitely like, we are definitely putting some damage here on the board for Disney. So let's just continue to watch it go to the downside. I mean, as my kids say, literally, Dad, pounding the table there, saying this is the short I like. And then, unfortunately, we almost got stopped out there. And unfortunately, we took some out on VWAP and at the 50 period, and then the move happened. So that's going to be all good for us. Here's the Tesla trade that you talked about there. I feel like this is getting into our levels right now where we should probably just take it out. So it is $3 in the money on the Tesla trade. So there's another one. We did get out of our AMD like an idiot. Right there at 102 for $1. But anyways, it drops right down into VWAP. You can't have them all, but at least you can have some of them. And then honestly, man, I'm the most happy with this trade because the futures is where it's at. Nice move all the way back down into 39.50 here for the TQs. So let's see if this one wants to continue to bleed. Unfortunately, and again, you know, like, this crystal ball of mine, although works sometimes, doesn't work all the time. You could join me at 4 o'clock. We'll talk all about crystal ball. But, you know, we had too many shares out waiting at VWAP. I thought the futures were going to have this kind of inside. Remember when we were up here and I said, hey, guys, if it's going to be an actual inside day, where did it need to go? And we need to go to VWAP. So it went to VWAP and absolutely cranked off that right back into some of the day's lows as well. I mean, we're not into day's lows, but that's where we kind of tried. We bounced about 15 handles away from those levels right there. So, I mean, we made the call. Now it's just time to reward yourselves, and we've done that, right? So we've taken out a lot, just too much there. Unfortunately, I had orders, and when it came in, it ran me over at VWAP. So, sorry about that, but we still have a little piece on board. I'm apologizing to myself. And then time to tighten up to stop on Tesla because, yeah, it is a huge move down. So that's 266, 265.70 maybe right there on Tesla to get it out because that was sort of what cascaded that. That 21 period is right there at 85. So let's go. Let's cancel our trade now on Tesla. I mean, this trade we gave to you, you know, live. So hopefully that's good. 265.76. Let's just do the same thing again. That's what the 21 period is. Look, if we get stopped out, oops, there's 100% of it, then we will get, okay, orders in. Then we'll get stopped out. It'll be about 270, 250 worth of a trade. So let's do that, and let's just hold the NASDAQ. Okay, so I actually liked what Neil said earlier. He said about selling, I think it was an example, your example was, not that you did this, but selling Apple and then buying some Qs. So you're still in the spot.
Well, I was talking about like long term.
Yeah.
Like I would never, like anything I own in my long term.
You feel so bad afterwards, right?
Yeah, it's like I don't want the money out of the market.
Right.
Like if I'm selling Apple, it's because I think I'm overweight in Apple, not because I want money out of the market usually. So like to me, like it just goes right into the index.
Yeah, or into like a micro, like another similar.
Well, in Apple's case, it's easier the index because it's obviously heavily
12%.
weighted. But like the other way to play that was like maybe if it was AMD, like if you thought Nvidia was overweighted, then you just buy like stocks, like buy the ETF or something like that.
Yes.
If that were the case, I just generally speaking don't like to be taking money out unless I think something disastrous is happening to the market, like money goes in. and you're trying to buy and hold. Time in the market. Don't try to time the market. So I'm looking at Google here. You know what? Maybe I want to see this bounce off VWAP again, but that's a pretty big lit grab underneath, liquidity grab underneath VWAP there to hold up almost immediately with the market going sideways. This feels like a stronger name for a potential bounce play. So maybe this one can be a bounce off VWAP. If it breaks and holds underneath, fair enough. I still would say this is the name I kind of like on a breakdown. Might get a second shot at this off of 70.30, and that's going to be Micron. We'll take a chance. That was kind of a big flush on the market. So were it to come back into here, I would want it to curl first instead of just taking the relief rally to the upside. Like I don't want to snap into that one for the short. I'm going to tempt fate by pulling up my Microsoft chart.
Why are they saying Microsoft ouch? What is it doing?
Like, okay, never
doing anything?
Yeah, I broke 123.27. My chart's jacked up on my 3 minute on Microsoft. Right? This happens sometimes, but Microsoft is through that 327. If you look at the daily, like this is also failing on the daily through the 50 period. So I think it's a slight trend to the downside. I'd look to short pops back into this local bottom here at 327.40. This is my 15-minute chart because my 3-minute chart's looking kind of jacked up. But yeah, short the pops. I am out of my short on Microsoft, looking for a re-entry point when things calm down. 8-door, Amazon and mRNA looking nice to buy. Wasn't Amazon super weak today?
No, I think he means like in the long term.
Oh, in the long term. Okay.
Yeah, I like Moderna where it's falling down 8 or 9% today. Yeah. That's a disaster for those guys. I actually like the name a lot. So that's something that I'll have to look into tonight, which I probably won't. But
it basically just lost
everything it did last week.
Yeah, the last week's move. Amazon's been getting to the 50 period when it pulls back. So like that's like $3 away still. Like look at it ride the 50. Ignore these wicks. Like it's been riding the 50 period. And go back to like April or something like. Is it April? Yeah, April. It's been bouncing off to 50. So if we're headed down, maybe you get a chance to retest that. It's a Fed week, so you know if you want stink bid prices, you might as well stink bid the best ones because a lot of times you get those types of fills on Wednesday. So let's see if 136 comes out on Amazon. I like it there. I mean, I'm not going to argue with it. Look at the trend. The trend is your friend. Until the end, when it bends. Moderna, different story because different profile. Like Moderna's rounding into bottoms. Amazon is holding higher highs and higher lows. Maybe the 100 level. It's a weird one because it has to settle down after today. Like today was nasty. I don't think it ever got 10% down, but through that 103, if it were to go SSR, like if it gets to 10% today, that makes it really juicy for tomorrow, maybe an SSR bounce on Moderna. But I don't think this one, yeah, it never touched 10% to the downside. 9% now. If it gets to 103 and breaks that, obviously it will be down 10% or more. That would be very spicy. Eric's saying Palantir held up well today.
Well, we'll check it. We're watching that Disney is not holding up well, and it's starting to fall back in. Disney all of a sudden goes into my number 2 name today. That's not right. Sorry, that's not right. Apple, ARM, Futures, Disney. Okay, it's not even close, number 2. Okay, but okay. On that note, hopefully it will come back in as well. So not only if you join Day Trade the World Campus, you will realize that the Green Bay Packers are also the best team, but that comes in lesson 4. So you have to wait for that. But if you're going to start it off right away, then you get to start with phase 1, the market introduction. Right now, this is only open to residents of Canada, but make sure that you apply now. And we keep talking about this all the time because we really do believe in this program. It's completely free, and it's very, very similar to some of those other sort of day trade contests that you see out there, except for this was intended for students that are currently in school, but please, no matter your age or whatever, please apply and let's see what happens on that one because it doesn't matter your age as long as you're in school and you do have 6 to 8 hours or so a week to get going there, up to 16 total hours. Lots of stuff happening. You get to eventually go live. And again, it's just like those competitions, right? You're going to trade on the same platform as us, and TMS is what we call training mode supreme or superb or something like that. You're going to go in there. If you pass everything, man, get introduced to the platform, get introduced to market. So you could just brand new at trading, find all about it, then hit some goals. Then you go into live. And then at the end of the yellow brick road, there is a big ass bag of money. So make sure that you can sign up today and hopefully get that on board. And then as you can see here, you're up against the clock right now, October 10th start date. So join all of us here at Day Trade the World and hit up our campus program. And hey, tell them Neil and Sean sent you. and see how far that gets you. Okay, so right there, Tesla breaks above 70. I have no idea.
It can't hurt. I don't know what it'll get you.
Yeah, it
but
might not help, but I don't.
Can't hurt.
Couldn't hurt. And if it
Can't
does
hurt.
hurt, I apologize
Yeah.
on that one. But there goes Tesla. We will finish the trade there with a bang because it was a good one, and we bought Tesla. That's $2.70 there for the end of that trade. We got out on the 70 break. Unfortunately, it did break. Right there, you can see. And we just kept adjusting it all the way down. And there's the break off of a key level right there, 75. So it breaks. We get 75 to the penny, unfortunately. Not a great out, especially if this keeps on falling down. But hey, we're sticking with the guns. And that does not mean that we cannot get... You know, if Tesla comes back up to the upside, man, we will reload this short. Just we're going to have to be very, very specific on what the levels are. So here it goes. Nice move back up. So hopefully we won't look back and decide that that was a wrong take. Disney, more outs there. We actually just got some 20s there, I believe. We got 22, it looks. Yeah, 22. We have lower bids, lower. So let's see what levels are we concerned with on Disney. That very bottom of the day is 85 flats. So we talked about this, drumstick or flats, Neil? Which one do you prefer? Drummy or the flat? Maybe you weren't here when we did this. Do you remember me doing this?
I don't, but I'm more of a flat.
Me too. Yeah, let's go.
So from a flavor standpoint, they tend to just be better, taste better.
All right, Brendan, get ready because you know our opinion is fine.
No, why not?
But we're gonna. You know what he's gonna say? Why? Why? Because
He usually just kind of goes, whatever.
No, he knows. He has an opinion.
He does?
He might not know what. See, I knew it. I was gonna say he has no idea what flats are. Damn it.
Really?
You know how the chicken wings, Brendan? How there's two pieces. There's the drumstick part, and then the flat.
The flat like.
All right, let's go to Brendan. I don't care if he doesn't know what it is. He knows now. He knows.
All of them. All of them. I don't have a preference. It's chicken wings, Sean. Like, are we really having this conversation?
Yes, we are.
Why?
They
is like
absolutely taste.
all
They
of them.
absolutely are different.
They are very, very different.
They really taste different.
I had frog's legs last week, by the way.
Who cares?
What do
Get him off
frog
the
legs
screen.
have to do with
Get him
anything,
off
man?
the damn screen.
What if frog legs?
Do it look like we're talking frog legs here?
Dark meat all the way. Obviously.
Here I am trying to create content.
Right? Obviously. Let's be real.
Someone just eats the whole chicken. Yeah, that makes sense.
No, they're
So
like chicken wings are great. I like all chicken wings, but I mean, come on, like the flats are better. And
Fabian, let's go poll time. This poll has to go up.
We should put a poll up.
This is too much.
I don't know if Bears vs. Wolves can do it, or Fabian get the poll up. I did want to. There was a question: is he doing the campus read thing?
But I mean, frog's legs. I mean, that's.
Well,
yeah, that's
Brendan
good.
just has to get fancy on everybody
There's
because
nothing
that's
wrong
how
with that.
he
Yeah, he's a
rolls.
little more proper than us. Cheerio.
I did get the long on VWAP on Alphabet, but there was a question about the U.S. and campus. It's not available in the United States. Someone said, please extend to the U.S. Obviously, if at some point maybe it could be like that would be down the line. Right now, there's no plans just yet. Gabby saying Canada is real? ? Canada is real and it's fabulous, by the way. And then there was a good question by Ryan. I'm American but play hockey. Can I join Day Trade the World? So. Do you like poutine? That's probably one. Can you suffer through supporting the Maple Leafs and the Blue Jays and the Toronto Raptors and every other Toronto team? That's question number 2. And then do you say a boot? If you do those things, then you can become a Canadian citizen. And at that point, you can join Day Trade the World.
If you say a boot, you're not allowed to become Canadian.
What?
End
We
of
say a
story.
boot all the time.
We do not say a boot.
I'm joking. I know I don't
That's
say a
it. When's the after show
I say
starting?
about.
I'm
About.
Oh, man.
Shoot.
Get that off my face. I have
The
nothing to
poll
say.
is up. The poll is up.
Make your choice. Easy.
Flats, baby.
But-
What's wrong with you people?
I don't know. Brandon's never heard of either one. So Brandon's looking at this like, where's that confusion thing that can go on our face? Right there, flats.
What's going on? How is this 50-50?
Wait a minute. Oh, it's getting better. Yeah. Here we go.
Really?
What to choose? What to choose?
There
look at
we
this.
go.
Flats. Here we go.
Flats.
to the moon.
Flats
Let's
to
go.
the
Oh
moon.
my God.
Keep going
Oh my
flats.
God.
Right now, flats is
Flats
killing
should be
it.
like
Flats killing
70-30.
it.
You know what's up.
Right now.
It's just better
Apparently,
from a
Brandon,
flavor.
you know, but if it's according to Brandon, it doesn't matter. Does it?
Well, he only eats frog
But he is
legs.
right, though. It does. It really doesn't matter, but you know.
You
What did
you
you say?
said
You
it
said
doesn't matter. You said you like all, Brendan.
Oh, on frogs' legs. Oh, I don't know.
They're not that good. They're actually quite bad in my
Frog
opinion.
legs.
Frogs' legs. Okay.
I wouldn't
They
know.
taste like
I don't know.
They taste like nothing. Like literally nothing. Like chicken wings are a million times better, in my opinion.
Okay.
Anyway,
but still no opinion on flats versus
both.
both. That's what it was, both.
No, okay, but
so both means kind of doesn't matter.
No, it's exactly what it means. It means doesn't.
Okay, all right. But
Yeah, so
anyways,
good to know. Now
I
you
thought
guys-
I'm pretty sure I've had frog. Like when I was in Paris, for sure I had frog's legs.
I
for
know I
sure.
didn't.
Oh, you did not?
I would remember, like, I'd remember if I did.
Yeah,
I guess.
like we had like all of the French, like
I ate a lot of
like
great food.
beef tartare and all that kind of stuff.
I had way too much ceviche. Like,
Yeah, ceviche.
I freaking love that stuff. So
You know.
it was like the first, I think, 3 meals we ate.
It's like my
Like,
kids,
okay, let's just start with that, and then after like that for an entire day, way too much wine as well.
they went to like when we were in Rome, it was like my daughter looked it up and apparently like do as the Romans do, like when in Rome, all that thing. She took that to a whole new level because
Nice.
like
That's what you're supposed to do.
she was literally Googling like what time do most Italians eat gelato? And then it was like, oh, they eat it like just before dinner or whatever. And then
Whatever
it was
the
like,
heck you
okay,
want.
it's, yeah. She just found some random websites. It's like she's 8 years old. It was just like, okay, well, 5 o'clock every day is gelato o'clock. So, yeah, we had a lot of gelato.
Here at Trader TV Live, apparently we can eat ice cream for breakfast, man.
Yeah, Ramin hooked that up last.
That's the thing. Like, you know, we have a great team, the 1s and 2s there, Fabian and Ramin. But they could say we're, I mean, just equally talented, equally valuable members of the team in every single way. They're both like just perfect additions to the team.
Yeah,
and then Ramin brought ice cream this
Someone
morning.
leveled up.
And then that happened. And like by default, like Fabian's down here. Because if you bring me food, you are all of a sudden my favorite human being in the planet. Back to the market for a quick second. Google bounced off VWAP. Google failed at local high. Scalp a little bit out 1-to-1. I am taking it to VWAP as an out. I'll reload it off VWAP. But if it can't break 138.70, you got to take some profit. I think this is the stock, or at least one of the stocks we play for some strength in the afternoon. So I'll buy dips into VWAP, look to stair step it to the upside. But you got to ring the register because this market. Let me pull the NASDAQ back up here for you. Like you said, inside day. Like, look at how ridiculous this is. Like, if you look at the move from Friday, all we're doing is trading the bottom end of the range from Friday. Like that afternoon chop that nothing happened, that's the entire day's range. So you're scalping these levels. That's what you got to do. Still watching TTOO. You know, I got away from it. I feel like this happens to me. Like, if I get trailed out of something, like I don't stick with it enough on the penny stocks, and I think this was still a good one. It's still going upside, but it's not at 50. It's kind of stalling out here at 45, 46. So I don't know, like, can it break out the high and get to 50? Not sure it can get to that level. D's, VWAP, victorious without papers. I don't know, I think you can come up with a better acronym than that, D's. I don't know. We love VWAP around here. What's interesting is there's like 2 indicators, I'm pretty sure, that are on everybody's chart, and that's volume and VWAP. Like, it's outside of that, like, it's just hit or miss, but on everybody's chart is going to be VWAP. And if you're a day trader, it ends up being important, especially in the middle of the day. Ooh, here comes the curl on Micron. So this is what we're looking for. Yeah, when it was bouncing, I didn't want to just jump into the trade, but now this is what I mean by catching something on the back end, which is Obi's favorite thing to do, apparently. We heard that like time and time again on the midday show. So this is it getting into a resistance level, that's it turning. This is getting it on the back end, so you're joining momentum, I guess, as opposed to like making the move. And we'll give it to the local high. So Micron, patient with it. I should have had that flat bottom break, but I missed the fill. Probably just keystroked it. Like meaning that I probably put a stop order in and then had the wrong order to fire out. Probably fired some garbage dark pool instead of my routing key, and that's why I didn't get the fill there. I'm going to short it here 40, give it to 50, see if it can't get back to the bottom.
Speaking of VWAP, we will have tomorrow probably the first authority on something like this. It's Brian Shannon. He's going to come on tomorrow, and hopefully every single Tuesday we're going to try to have Brian come on as well. Over 300,000 followers. There's the book right there, and of course he's going to come on. And I tag him all the time with these VWAP trades. So we'll talk about Anchor VWAP, but it's not only that. I mean, he'll come on to sell the book, but you know, at the end of the day, it's all about trading. So we're gonna ask him for some trade ideas, and he's pretty good too. Like here he is talking about Bitcoin today. and again, the anchored VWAP is his sort of thing, so he'll be talking about that. Always does that. You know, again, a very, very like-minded trader to those of us that have been using Cardi VWAP for as long as we can be. So there we go, a nice little move on that one, and then we'll have him come through. So right now, just 39.60. I'm waiting. We're now into power hour. It doesn't really seem like that because the NASDAQ is, although it's under. I mean, look, this is what. I made the call up here coming back into VWAP, so there it is. And then now we're trying to bounce off of it again. So this is the NASDAQ. So if you're not looking at that, I feel like you need to. And those of you that don't, someone said they don't have that indicator. You do. You do have volume weighted average price. I mean, if you don't.
If your trading platform doesn't have volume weighted average price, then you need to contact your broker right away. And no, but like, just ask what's up.
There's so many free ones too, but it is in there, I'm telling you.
Yeah, of course.
Unless there's a broker that doesn't have it.
What kind of charting system doesn't have VWAP?
It's just such an easy one. It's just like a moving average. So
it's very simple
to calculate, right? It's basically a moving average, but using the volume of each print. So it's, I feel like it's technology-wise, it should be able to be charted by your platform. So I don't know if that's what that means, but all right, just check the temperature of our Tesla.
Well, I don't know about Robinhood. I've never used that. But.
Robinhood doesn't have it?
Someone just said Robinhood, question mark? And I'm like, Robinhood has VWAP in their
I don't know, but if they don't, then I don't. I mean, I saw Dumb Money.
There's no way they don't have that.
Yeah, no one was talking about VWAP on Dumb Money, that's for sure. They were just buying calls every single time they could.
They just buy everything. You don't need an indicator there. You just buy the effing dip is what they always say.
And that's what we're doing on CCG right now, $80. So there it is. There's the temperature of our Tesla trade. So far, we'll go on that one because that was a good out as we rode the bear all the way to the downside right there and got out, and that looks like a good out right now. And I say this all the time, like sometimes you'll look back and you have bad outs, you know, like we got stopped out right there and back in, but then sometimes we also have good outs, right? And so not most of the time we have at least decent outs somewhere. And that reminds me of our ARM trade right now. I'm hoping that this would fall back into somewhere around here. But we can draw one of these big fancy lines right here and look at, kind of like a trend line right there. Get going. No money, more money, more money, more, no whammy,
that's
no
close
whammy. Stop!
Enough.
There we go. No whammy. You know what that's from there? Press your luck. You know, no whammy, no whammy, no whammy. Stop!
Then
and then all of a sudden, these little green guys go at the bottom, and you got a whammy, and they like machine gun your profits away and all that stuff.
The position board went away.
The position board. See, no whammies. See, no whammies. Stop.
Stop
position
hitting the table. It destroys the technology.
How is that possible? Position board back. And now.
Really? I just got to take a fill.
Okay. Anyways, if you're just looking, let's go back to ARM quickly here because we just drew some fancy lines, so we might as well discuss them. So again, they don't quite line up, but you have a top there, a top, a top. Trying to line that one up, but we did pretty good there, pretty good there. So it is looking like a decent break. I've already have the stop in right now for 57.11. Now we can move it to this level right here. It is making lower highs, so as you continue to go, it's still all good. But if we take that, realistically, it's supposed to be if you take this level, but let's just up it a little bit. You know, we do get some float here. 56.70 for ARM will be our next out. We're short at 57.70. So we've already taken about $2 there, or $1.80. So let's see if we can get it right there. 56.70, new targeted out for ARM if you are in this trade for right now. And we did take a Disney fill at 18s, which was the best fill we've gotten so far. So hopefully that, or was it a 20 fill? I guess it was a 20 fill. Let me check. I'm bidding 16, sorry. So we do have, I thought I was bidding 18s as well. No, I was not. So it's 20. So we got the 20 fill already on Disney, which woke up to the downside. So that was bid.
Oh, I like that. Was that pun intended?
No.
Disney, which woke?
Oh, woke up. That was a good one. I actually tweeted it up. I said, is Disney going to wake up? And I should have said woke up.
Yeah, well, I actually thought that was, you meant that on purpose.
I did mean that on purpose, yeah.
That was better than the dad joke, actually. But a couple of things to get to. Thank you very much for the super chat, Edwin. You could have just told us, but you super chatted. Ninja Trader doesn't have VWAP. So my shout out to Ninja Trader, get VWAP for the traders, please. Like, it's an easy indicator for people to have on their chart. There's actually no reason why you wouldn't have it. And there was a question in the chat, is VWAP the one with the bars on the side? I think if it's bars on the side, you're talking about volume profile. That's maybe not as popular or well-known volume profile. We actually don't even have volume profile at Day Trade the World, but you can find that on like TradingView probably. And then Sean, you got a D's sent you a happy 27th.
Thank
birthday.
You. Appreciate it.
Which is crazy because
it's 29.
You told me it was your 25th birthday.
Right, it's actually 29.
Oh, so you just lied everybody.
Sorry, D's.
29, okay. 29, that's one of my favorite numbers.
I like 29, yeah. Joe Carter.
Jesse Barfield.
And Jesse Barfield.
Jesse Barfield. Joe Carter hit the most famous home run in Blue Jays history. Jesse Barfield was the better player. And he was my favorite player growing up.
Joe Carter was batted like 260.
I know. Jesse Barfield came to he came to my aunt's church when I was little, and it's like it's one thing like a lot of times like, you don't like meet like your just random like local favorite player. Like it wasn't my favorite like Will Clark was or like the same. He was just the Jays, the first guy on the Jays that I liked, and then you meet him and he was just like the most completely down to earth, super like nice dude that you could ever meet. And he's still like that because I've seen him at Jays Fest. And it's always cool when you have athletes that are like that. But anyways, the market's rolling back over, just a teensy little bit. Apple's trying to join the party, still like Micron. I'm checking back in because I just reloaded Google. So I just got first fill on Micron. I'm going to bring the rest of it there. But that VWAP trade on Google just bounced off VWAP. Well, it may be bouncing off VWAP again. So we had the break. This time we take the dip. I'm only giving it to the local bottom. If it holds underneath VWAP, I'm going to get out, looking to see if it can just rinse and repeat this trade. But the market might decide that that is no mas. So want to have a relatively tight stop on Google. Leon, thoughts on the Bills game? Are they back or too early to overreact? But overreact positively to the Bills crushing Vegas? Oh, it's never too early to overreact. The Bills are winning the Super Bowl. That's my takeaway from that game. Josh Allen's winning the MVP, and the Bills are winning the Super Bowl. How else would you possibly react to that? James Cook, he can't handle the load, had like 160 total yards. So the Bills are winning the Super Bowl. I feel that every single year, but I am absolutely overreacting to that win. Of course I am. It's not a rational thing to do. I hope people don't bet based on that, but yeah, we're winning the ship.
It was a good game there, and I think that
It's Vegas, man.
The odds got better because like Cincinnati's not looking great. Burrow got hurt. I mean, that's one more situation there that you don't have to worry about.
That's a problem.
Let's be perfect.
The real problem is obviously Patrick Mahomes. Let's be real.
Well, yeah, and then I think Lamar too. I think Baltimore's going to be decent this year, if not already decent.
If ODB can't stay healthy and they don't get, what would scare the crap out of me is if Baltimore were to trade for Jonathan Taylor, that would be a little scary.
Yeah, because I have Gus Edwards, and he's
you
not,
have Gus in the pool?
Yeah, he's not carrying. I mean,
he available?
Oh, everyone's available. You mean my team is crap. I obviously have Gus Edwards. So, okay, 49ers. Yeah. I think the NFC this year, 49ers and Philly are playing pretty good. I look forward to a good Super Bowl this year. Well, every year, I think. Do you know there hasn't been, it's been something like 9 of the last 10 Super Bowls has featured a team that wasn't in the playoffs the year before or something
Which is amazing. It's a great stat.
Something like that. Or hadn't won a playoff game the year before?
I'd say
it's won a playoff game the year before.
This hurts me to say this, but you just said Philly and San Francisco. I understand,
From the
like
NFC.
I take absolutely no pleasure in making this comment, but I'm going to keep it real for a second. The Dallas Cowboys are better than Philly right now.
Yeah,
Philly has not impressed me for 2 games, and Dallas has. So right now, I'm saying it, and trust me, when I'm saying that Dallas looks better than Philly, I'm the biggest hater of the Dallas Cowboys that you're going to find, obviously because they beat the crap out of my Bills for a couple of Super Bowls.
Dallas played 2 garbage teams, though.
Philly, Jalen Hurts looks terrible right now.
Yeah, I know. He has to look better.
The rock. He has to look better.
But the problem is Dallas still has Dak Prescott.
They're doing what Dallas doing what they're supposed to do, and Philly has not looked like they're supposed to. That said,
here goes.
I don't know about Dak in a big game, but
I do. Here goes Dallas to the downside right now.
Market to the downside.
Actually, you know what would be ironic if it was Dallas versus Bills? That's 2 big game quarterbacks, the 2 quarterbacks that need to get there.
Have you seen Josh Allen's playoff stats?
No.
Don't Dak Prescott him, okay?
I'm just saying they need to both win the big games.
I know, but he's statistically one of the best playoff quarterbacks statistically that there is out there. Like, he'll make some bad decisions, but he makes up for it by actually winning you some games.
Yeah.
Like, this is my thing. Dak Prescott's not exactly winning you any games.
Right. Now, he's not putting your team on this, but that's why they have the defense.
The defense is going to have to win it for them, but they get down.
Dak's not putting anybody on his back and carrying.
Overreaction Monday.
Unless he's carrying them into somewhere else. Okay, so here he goes, man. Disney. Look, I know it's Power Hour, but let's just go, man. This is.
Oh my God.
See ya. And this is kind of what we thought would happen to the market, to be honest with you. That's why we're still holding the futures. Unfortunately, our Tesla did get stopped out. We were saying we were going to reload it, honestly, but it didn't. I mean, we were waiting at 267. We talked about the 200 period. That didn't come in. So now that it's dripping down, we are now below where we got out on this trade. But again, so is the market. We did have multiple opportunities. We were just talking about it. Remember, I was like, oh, no one uses or we were talking about VWAP. And then there's the move down off of it again. So that's a good little target there for us on that. As the market just continuing to go down. This is now Disney is starting to overtake, right? I'm up more on Disney than I'm up on Apple now. We're actually up more on Disney than we are on the market right now, which is quite nice. And then the other name that we're up on a lot would be ARM, and then we're just waiting. That's getting close to getting taken out right now as well at that level. So what else you guys want us to talk about? All right, let's check out AMD quickly because that was a name that we always trade. All right, so we got out there. That's going to look bad. That did go down even lower, but forget about it. Let's check out the biggest and baddest of them all. Let's check out NVIDIA. We do have Stitch Fix. We don't even have an earnings board to show you guys. It's not.
It's just Stitch Fix.
Yeah, it's literally just Stitch Fix and really nothing else. So we'll talk about that on the after show, but it's not going to be anything too special for that one. NVIDIA trying to stay up. I mean, we're still above VWAP on this name. So we'll have to wait. I still think NVIDIA could be a long. It definitely got flushed down there. I don't have volume up here, but there is the RSI down there below 25 straight up off the open. And then it also got down there again off that flush and then rebound. So we're not near there yet. Any sort of a capitulation for this name, we will watch out for RSI because there it is breaking lower. It took it down, then ripped. There it is right there breaking RSI again right here at 437.70, in which it went back about $1.50 off that. Let me just see, because Tesla's making a move down. Where are we on the RSI for Tesla? So again, yeah, all right. See, I got to set up like an alert for every time RSI hits a certain level to sort of trigger because that's a good level there.
Trade Ideas can probably do that.
I've asked Trade Ideas. I don't know. There's only certain things they can do, but
Oh, okay.
I'll talk. I mean, yeah, but it's more about with our platform right there. So,
Yeah.
but anyways, that's that. So Disney's still dripping. I don't have any bids for this one, but 85 flat is the bottom. So let's start to get some more out.
Yeah, I mean, I am bidding on Micron down here in the teens, just looking for one more push. But just reminding everybody, it's 327, so 330 we get the early look on the imbalances. I'm expecting a nothing burger for sure, probably today and tomorrow on the imbalances, so hopefully trend continue. But do want to be getting flat as we get into 350. That's generally the plan of action. So in the next couple of minutes, if we don't get filled here, probably just take something out. Google's trying to bounce. It's making an attempt. This is not exactly when it did this, it was like a liquidity grab under VWAP, and then it immediately held it, then it broke out. This is more of a dip buy that's not going anywhere, so it might just be a scalp trade or nothing on Google. Felt like this was one. If the market was going to go back to the highs, could be good. Oh, yeah, so just for everybody.
It worked exactly perfect.
No, but it's true. Every single time, if the market's at the high of the day, and we have two bears.
It was literally perfect.
And I say it's turning to a bull, that turns the market. Now this time, a lot of times I'll be doing that saying, hey, the market's going to continue to hold the trend. This time I was actually all short when it happened. I was just hoping that the luck would turn it to the downside because I was all short in that moment this morning. But yeah, the second I turned that, so just note.
It was like an hour ago.
If the market's at the top in the morning and those are two bears and I change it to a bull.
Yeah, we're going ham.
Just go ham into the shorts because that's what you should do. Whether it's that or the Magic 8 Ball or, I don't know, like just using astrology or some nonsense like that. Whatever works for you. Obviously, those are all nonsensical. But yeah, just don't. We're obviously joking when we talk about stuff like that. The bull, there are some times when we'll say, hey, look, we're making this change because this is what we think the market is. And other times we just kind of forget about what they're sitting at. So I don't want people to always read too much into that. Because I feel like sometimes we'll change it and then we won't even look at it for a couple of days.
Like we come in the next morning and
there was
like, these guys are bullish.
There was one time we left it for like 3 days in a row and the market was just ripping.
Well, if Randy ever comes through, then you know he's going to change them just for fun.
Randy's a different story.
Altogether.
Minor player, astrology trading is real. Is it really?
It's not. If it is, it's not.
I really hope not.
Better not.
I think that could be the most. I've heard a lot of ridiculous stuff before, but like buying based on astrology is a little crazy. Like lunar cycles, really?
Yeah, I mean, it's, well, some people like, it's one thing if you're trading when you're not feeling it, like under the weather, or maybe there's some sort of if you're following that whole cycle thing, I don't know, but.
I think that's.
As far as stocks following certain things,
I will, I think you can, I don't think astrology affects your mood, in my opinion, but that's just me. Maybe someone believes otherwise. But I do think like if you aren't feeling under the weather, like there's something going on, then maybe you shouldn't be risking. Like I'd say if I get bad sleep or whatever, like maybe if the Bills got throttled 52-10, or maybe if the Bills lost to Desmond Ridder in Atlanta, like I should come in and maybe trade a little bit less. Yeah, I just feel terrible about that. Like, that's a bad loss. I might be feeling bad emotionally. I'm saying that like as a bit of a joke, but it does matter. Like if you're not there 100% mentally, like you don't want to be making like risk decisions because like you have money on the line. If you make a bad decision, it's going to cost you something for real. It's like when people say don't take this and operate heavy machinery. Like I wouldn't, if you're taking one of those types of like, I don't know, like antihistamines are fine, but what's a good example? Like don't be taking NyQuil or whatever that crap is and then trading, right? Like it's just one of those things. Like if I have a bad back, I'm not taking a Robax and trying to trade. Like that stuff will knock me the crap out. Have you ever had a Robax set? Like
Yeah, I just have them for fun, but like I do understand. I do understand that they're a little powerful, but for me, like you talk about the NyQuil stuff, like honestly, when I was feeling under the weather, I drank one and it was like, thought it was like a tea or something.
I'm one of those people. It's like caffeine, most medications. If it's a drowsy or if it's something that makes you alert, then it's usually like that, like ×2 for me. That's just how for me, it's a metabolism thing. I have no idea. I'm sure there's a medical explanation. I'm sure there's some kind of an explanation metabolism-wise, but those, trust me, like I'm not taking those chances. Like when I take my Reactin, which when you hear me sneezing, I do, I make sure it's not something that's going to make me feel off. That poll, by the way, how are there 667 responses to the poll?
At what?
And 489 likes. More people are interested in responding to, do you like flats or drums? Flats, by the way. Than there are people wanting to like the show. 3,800 watching, only 500 likes. First of all, 3,800 watching. I understand if you can't respond to the poll, it's because you haven't hit the subscribe. You actually have to be a subscriber to be in the chat. We do that so that the chat is manageable for us to even pay attention to. When we didn't have that, it was impossible. We couldn't answer questions. We couldn't even see the chat. It was moving so fast. So yeah, take a second and do this.
Hola, like and subscribe today.
And speaking of trades, 330 just hit. And if all you're going to do is bounce 10 cents, like I said, just scalp it if that's all it's going to give you. I think the market is headed back down, so VWAP's not going to be long for Google. It got up to 50 and turned like 3 times. So the third time I got some out. I think we're curling. Micron still doesn't want to fill. I might move that to 20s because that was the local bottom here. So I'll get something out in front of the 20s if we can. Market seems to want to head to that downside. Nikola not doing a thing. It doesn't trail out. It doesn't want to trail out that 50 level, but it's also not breaking out to the high. So we'll just get on the offer. Nikola ain't going to 170 today. I thought maybe the move could get to 170. We short 175. Doesn't look like that's going to be the case for Nikola. Ho-hum, Nikola only up 30% today. I do think Nikola's going to... I think there's like a flush coming in Nikola. I don't know if it's tomorrow. But yeah, it gets to the 50 and the 200. Like, it was kind of the zone I was thinking Nikola was going to do the turnaround. It's been stair-step down since its move up. But good long day today. I just kind of feel like there's a short coming in Nikola. And when it happens, it's going to be nasty.
I feel like I have to do a little bit of housekeeping here, and it's nothing major and important. But, you know, last week we had Adam filling in for a while there, and now he's gone. So he's, yeah, he got a job. He, you know, he's gone. He's off the floor now. So I just wanted to say that because, you know, when people start asking, where's Adam? And they're like, oh, there goes another one. Oh. Well, I mean, we love the guy. And unfortunately, he found another employment. And that's part of, you know, why we go through sometimes different names. And that's because when you're sitting here on a trading floor, you have live level 2 access. Yeah. You're trading. You're learning from guys like us, guys like Brankles and all that kind of stuff on the floor. Unfortunately, there are opportunities where you either get poached or you've now traded and you know you have your education. Yep. Now you have the experience. Well, so we say this all the time that one of our friends trades for National Bank and trades for TD Bank.
Without even saying, I don't want to say the person's name.
Yeah,
but
no, we don't have to.
When Sean and I opened our first trading floor, we had like 4 traders at first. It was just like one of it was our buddy's friend and, you know, a couple and the younger brother. But when we hired our first actual group of trainees, one of those trainees is, you know, he's I don't want to call him king-ish at one of the banks here, but he's had a very successful career in the industry, and that's what can happen. Like, you learn the markets, learn experience. He was a very successful trader, but he just moved on to bigger, better things.
Yeah.
Having level 2 experience and understanding the market at this level is a big win for you.
And I also want to talk about how important age is in this as well, because a lot of these guys are younger traders that are coming here as starting their careers, right? And then, like you just mentioned, then they go on to bigger and better things. So I'm actually proud to come here and say that, you know, Adam is, I mean, I'm not happy to say he's no longer here, but happy that, you know, to make that kind of an announcement, right? So because some traders are gone, they leave for performance or they leave for other things. And I'm just glad that after, how long was Adam here, Brankles? Brankles, how long was Adam here for? 4 months, right? And so we always say here that it's hard to exactly perfect your craft after 4 months, but he worked hard on the floor, got on the show, and you guys saw the valuable information that he gave.
He's a sharp kid, man.
Exactly. So we say wicked, best of luck to our guy Adam. So that's what that is. So I just wanted to say that so, you know, people aren't like, oh my God, there goes another one, but there's nothing we can do. And that's unfortunately the thing there. The only suckers are me and Neil here every day. But hey, welcome, guys. Oh, did I say that out loud? My bad.
Yeah, you did
but
say that.
Anyways, yeah.
You also didn't say anything when I threw shade at the Cowboys, but that's all good.
At the Packers?
Oh, no, Packers, I said.
Yes, I did. I said, yeah, that's that is what I should do, is be upset at myself because of the Packers. But, you know, we were winning all game. The difference with the Packers is we're pretty much never favorite to win anything. Like, we beat the Bears. We were the underdogs, and we were the underdog again yesterday in Atlanta. So. But anyways,
I actually thought Love had a good game, but
I think Jordan Love's been okay, man. 6 touchdowns, no picks.
I think he's playing great.
6-0.
Yeah.
We'll see.
I mean, look, to be honest, you guys lost because Bijan Robinson is freaking amazing.
Oh, the guy's on another level. But
if you like football, oh my goodness, that guy's like juking people out of his you-know-what. Like, it was just ridiculous. It's so much fun out of their strap. He's nonsensical. So it's 3:36. The early look is, Ayo, 420 to sell. Ayo. Is the early look on the imbalances. That's what I'm talking about. Where's our 420? There was one that comes up and it
we
drew. We
always ask for it, but I only have is this one.
It drew the 420 on the middle of the screen. And I think we lost that one. But a 420 million sell imbalance, market's headed to the downside. So I did get that leg on Micron. It continues to head down. Good thing we took some. I should have hit the other one. That's not the one I like. It's the.
I have the other one if you want it.
No, this is the one I like better. That's much, much better. But if the market came down, that did mean we'd have to give up Alphabet through VWAP. So a couple of bounce plays here. Lower high, broke VWAP. Just get out. Looks like we're headed into the bottom. Nickel's not doing anything. Doesn't really care what the market's doing. But everything else is heading into that downside. Looks like it's going to be a race to the bottom. Sorry, I'm chuckling because Squash Battles just asked for a poll. Does Sean and Neil like Bud like Starsky and Hutch? Starsky and Hutch.
I like, that movie?
Well, there was the remake of that one.
Yeah.
With Ben Stiller and Owen Wilson. No, Owen Wilson.
Owen Wilson, right.
You're thinking of the one with Mark Wahlberg and Will Ferrell did a cop movie called.
Good Cop. Something about his son. Wasn't it their stepdads?
No, that's a different one. I'm the one with their cops.
No, but they are dads.
What's the other guys?
Yeah.
Good job, Adair.
One is.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
The desk pop scene. You ever done a desk pop?
We just watched.
I gotta watch that movie again.
Where they are brothers, stepbrothers again.
Step Brothers.
That was hilarious, man.
John C. Reilly. That's the guy.
Guy's on fire.
He is so underrated as a comedian.
Yeah, he could do both too. Serious.
He's so good.
By the way, guys, I mean, whatever. You know, whether or not you like drums or flats, we're barbecuing it up right now, right here. And it's a chicken dinner winner. So you can have thighs, breasts, wings, innards, whatever you want. But right here, this is Disney.
That's disgusting.
Yeah, for me, yeah. There it is, nice downside move. We just got a 05 or 06 fill there, whatever that was, on that move. Probably looks like it was 06. So nice move to the downside there for DIS. So again, we wanted it to woke up. See, there we go, Neil. I did at least a little bit there. It woke up and went right down to the downside there today with the market not even really doing too much. I mean, that was a nice market move. But Disney to go all the way back down to days low, I guess that makes sense. So down to 85 bucks. That's why we took another piece out. So just in case you home gamers are watching right now, we only have about 20% left of this trade, in which a lot of these outs, I mean, most of them were out here at 20, good outs at 16, 17, good outs down there. And I'm actually really happy with this because normally we're just littering this right here and getting out, but we did have more faith in this stock as it was coming back to the downside. And I said if the market ever took VWAP, because Disney was further down, we did have a big move potential in that one. So again, hindsight being what it is, we would have liked to hold on to more of it. But look what's happening right now too. Let's go as market turns red. Neil already hit this one. So do the TQs as there it goes to the downside.
ES too. They're exactly the same.
Yeah, I'm kind of glad that we talked about that on the show, and it's in our work chat now. People have put in the chat, what the hell is TOO?
I know.
So it's not TOO.
No, we need to fix that.
It's the TQs. And I plan on continuously to trade these things. So I do hope that we can get it fixed. I'll try to maybe trade something else, but I think even if I was in the Qs,
it's just getting cut off. That's all it is.
I think if
it's cutting off the little bottom.
Yeah, so we do have
it's it's just a graphic thing.
They're going to look into it, and
Yeah,
I think they could get that.
They just need to give it more room. It's like give it 1 millimeter more, and then it'll be fine. That's all.
Or there must be a font that would show. Like, why is normally Qs don't have a dragging tail? Can't we put a
They
line?
just change the font. Like
Right.
there's a million ways that you can fix that problem.
Anyway, smarter guys than us.
No, but it is, to me, like, it is a big deal because it's
like Fabian.
like, what if that was an actual stock, right? Like it's not like TOOO. TTOO. But that's what the reason I saw it, because I know TTOO was at 40. And when I saw that, I was like, oh, you're trading TTOO? Like, why are you short that? You wouldn't short that stock.
And by the way, another, just to go on that talk about Adam, another guy that unfortunately had left us was Fahad. Again, another super young guy. Yeah. That was just amazing. And, that is what we have to do. Shout out to Fahad as well.
When you're young, get those just someone asked me this.
Oh, you got lucky because you didn't have to face Fahad in a race, at least.
I got lucky. Are you kidding me?
That's why if that guy was still here, he'd be all over that.
I'll race to freeze that dude.
Neil, slow down on that.
No, that guy probably.
Neil, slow down.
That guy runs like a 21.5 in the 200.
You know what I'm saying?
That guy's fast. What?
Mr. Freeze?
No, the freeze is. You ever watch Atlanta?
Atlanta?
So the Atlanta Braves had this dude who, like, in the middle, it's like, I don't know, like seventh inning, whatever.
F-R-E-E-S.
And he'd race, like, a fan would race this guy, and he was dressed up like an idiot.
That guy.
And they would race him around, like, the outfield, and then no one could beat him because he was an actual track star. Like, that guy was legit. But
I think meant the guy that kind of looks like Silver Surfer.
No, we're not talking about that. Someone asked me the tap for CCG. Two things. The tap is 68. What goes up must come down. This is the reason why we said people don't chase. And this is the reason why we say trailing stops are a problem on these. Because even if you had a trailing stop up here, you might have gotten out here, or maybe you missed it, didn't fired and missed, and you get 22s. But remember when I was joking around? Yeah, just have it bounce. Just buy 69.42 and it'll hold up. Well, that wasn't that bad. It actually bounced off 65. It's halted to the downside again, tapping now 64. So halted at 73 down, tapping 64, which is underneath the support and back into VWAP. VWAP, not a bad little indicator here because VWAP has been holding on this stock. Tomorrow, probably $10. Let's be real about that. I'm not saying it's going to $10, but all roads usually lead back in. We are getting close to 350. I am going to move my stop from 70.5 on Micron. Probably give it to this 70, 30, 35 or so, a little closer to break even, this lower hump here. Do not want it coming all the way back into the upside. Ultimately, the market is bouncing a little bit, and it's trying to go red, green, red, green. Do not want like a crazy reversal from like this small sell imbalance into something bigger. So I will move the trailing stop on that one. The market is, like we said, it's range bound today.
Yeah.
Right? And you're still kind of holding the middle of that range. So anything can happen at 350. I just feel as if you got something in the money, make sure you grab those profits. It'll make a lot of sense. Leon and Neil is the Phil Ivey of traders. I was just watching, I'm not making this up. I haven't watched a lot of poker clips on YouTube, and I was just watching the one where he bluffed, who did he bluff with ace-4? I think he bluffed, was it Matizau? Like Matizau had a king-high flush, and he got him off it with 4-high. It was a great bluff if you watch that hand. Basically, he was just representing, it doesn't matter. He's representing the full house, which is a hard thing to do, the way the hand was set up. But either way, I think it was Matizau. But I love Phil Ivey. And what I love about Phil Ivey is like the guy's decision making is so on point and consistent. Like you never see him, almost never see him rattled. It's just he stays in the pocket. He takes a bad beat. He's still the same dude after that because trading you're going to lose. It's going to happen to you. He's apparently like a really good, like not just at poker, like he's actually a good gambler at a lot of other things, like skill type games. But like most, you know, it is really just about like knowing what you're good at. Because a lot of these dudes, you hear it all the time. It's like, then he'll go to the golf course and lose a bunch gambling on his golf game because he's not a golfer. So you got to make sure, like, you're good at poker, you're good at baccarat. Make sure you put your money toward that. Like, you're good at trading momentum, you trade momentum. You're good at trading the futures, trade the futures. You're good at trading oil or crypto, do that. Don't just start jumping around to a million other things that you're not good at. But let's go to the desk and take care of some business. What? No?
Yep.
Brought to you by IG.com. Trade Forex pairs like Euro USD with spreads as low as 0.8 pips and zero commissions at IG. Terms and conditions apply.
Good look there. Fonzie lays down a monster. So I want to mention this. So remember Unity that went absolutely nuts? This was like a lunch money play that sometimes like news will hit and then that's the catalyst. Like middle of the day, there was some news came out on pricing for Unity. So it ends up doing the breakout that we're looking for because it was a news catalyst. This is now right back in to the same price, like 33.5 where VWAP was when it dropped. Looking like the same support level. Unity got shellacked today. On the daily, this is double bottoming on the daily. I think this is worth a look tomorrow. Obviously, it had some moves today, but you know, tomorrow bouncing off this 33 area does look pretty interesting. It plays both ways. Like if it takes out this local bottom, yuck, it gets nasty to the downside, but Unity's a highly shorted name, which is having a recovery day. So if it holds 33.5, I kind of like the recovery play for this name in the afternoon. So Unity, I didn't actually end up getting into a trade on this today, but the way it moved, I do think there's going to be an opportunity tomorrow off this 33 area holding some support. Underneath it, I wouldn't touch it, but if it can hold 33.
Yeah, people were upset about their pricing changes and whatnot.
Yeah,
for
exactly.
Unity, so that's and then,
Shellacked. That's
yeah, and they had like death threats and closing of their offices. Pretty scary stuff, man.
People get a little out of hand.
People get out of hand on that, but it was the developers, and it was just becoming more and more expensive and all that. So okay, but anyways, let's see what's going on right now. So Disney again taking out at 85.03. This is the low of the day. We will be reviewing this, and by the way, make sure you check it out just in a matter of minutes right now. In 13 minutes to be exact, and I just tweeted it out. Join me on the recap show right now. Thanks, Ramin, for this lovely tweet as I just retweet it. But join me right now, coming soon, and we'll be talking all about trades. And we've got a few interesting things lined up for us today, including we'll talk about ARM, we'll talk about a few trades that we had today, and we'll talk about Stitch Fix, which is expected to come out. I don't know. I think it'll be relatively soon. So if you're a Stitch Fix shareholder, sorry. But if not, then watch out there. There is a nice, there's a short float on this. And we're just coming back into these bottoms again. I shouldn't say sorry because if you're a shareholder that bought this bottom of Stitch Fix, it did basically double top right there at 5. So it did give you some outs, including a double bottom at 3, double top at 5, and that's 250, not 3. You're heading right into that again. So we'll see if they can come up with something. And then an Intel Innovations Day starting tomorrow, the 19th and 20th, when they have a conference of their own as well. Looking forward to some Alchemists and looking forward to some more talk about their real engine and things like that. So we'll wait to see what happens with Intel as we're getting close right now to not necessarily being at, well, we won't be at the high of the day for ourselves, but we're going to be at the high of the afternoon for us anyways, as all these trades have come in for us. AMD, well, we got out of AMD. That's okay. Tesla right now, good out for us. Happy with that take. Uh-oh, what just happened? Okay, ARM's on a rip, and I don't have an out here. So I got to watch out for this because ARM just took this out. ARM just went all the way to the upside. I'm going to have to put my out again because the out was going to be a break of 58, right? So let's just go break of 58 here on ARM. We'll set our target to get out because that just blasted upside there. And wow, I do want to talk about ARM today, but tell me about that out right there. That was the out on ARM. So we already took that out. We had a very, very small piece left, and then this just flew in. So
that? The first one.
Oh, 56.70. We talked about getting out at 56.75. Remember if it broke that level right there? So we did get out. So there's the out on ARM, and ARM is
short that tomorrow.
Yeah, we'll be shorting everything, hopefully. But ARM's my #1 stock today. So let's just keep on trading it here as we get ready into the close. I'm going to have to go up there and deal with my business. There it is. Come on, ARM. Let's go. I'm just pumping these out. Like, I don't know if you can see that. Hey, I'm Sean. I'm an algo sometimes. But we just got out of like four or five fills there as it just filled into the 60s. So again, heading into the end of the day,
that's a good point.
There is going to be an imbalance coming through. So,
Options open on ARM today.
Okay, yeah, I was looking short anyways all day. And again, see, that's the thing. Remember we talked about that with Michael Noss and stuff like that, is like you might not know all the stories, but you definitely know price levels. So we were shorting everything there today, and I didn't realize the option thing. But to me,
that matters more if it breaks.
Yeah, like
60. If it breaks 60, like for it to gamma squeeze, like it's really gonna if it starts breaking 60 again, I'd be more worried about that. 3 seconds till the imbalances come out here, so we'll get that for you guys live. It was an early look, 420 million to sell, which is not that big. I got SU, that's buy, who cares? Palantir, 2 million to sell. Amazon, 1.5 million to the buy side. What else we got here that's interesting? Virgin Galactic's $1 million buy. That's interesting. Roblox is $1 million to the sell side, so it looks a little bit mixed. 1.3 billion to sell, so maybe it's not that mixed after all. So yeah, Amazon, the big one to the buy side there, and Palantir with a 1.9, actually a 2 million sell on Palantir. I just got 159. I'm getting out of Nikola here at the high, but Palantir, it didn't really move. So almost 2 million to sell on Palantir. Look at that, didn't even move. Nothing burger there. And it said Amazon was the other one. Amazon looking a little something. To the buy side, small spike to the upside on Amazon. Amazon was one of the weaker tech names, by the way. The market bounced and tried to test highs. Amazon never traded above VWAP since, what is that, 10:30. Not a good day for Amazon.
Yeah,
maybe you get that 50 period on Wednesday. That is 135 change on Amazon. Watch out for that on Wednesday. I always like looking for what bottom do you like on Fed day? I like 135 on Amazon on Fed day.
Flushy. Yeah, I'm just waiting. Yes, sir. Oh, man. So this just basically, forget about you. Forget about everything I've ever taught everybody. Nothing really matters. You just got to get the right prices and then get out. But I know that's just day trading 101. It's not, kind of say that tongue in cheek, but look at 58. It just ran up to 58. I didn't know I knew I had an order there, but I had no idea that this stock was running right into 58 bucks. So now we're out of almost 80% of this trade as it just fell back. And we just got 52s right there, and that was a big part of the out. So it's going to look bad. There it is right there. So nice flush in there. Bounced off 40 or so, but we didn't think that trade was going to come through, and I didn't even notice it. But again, if you sit at the right prices with a decent amount of risk, you can make a little bit of money there. This is kind of a fluke, other than the fact that we were sitting there. And we actually say it the other way around too, right? It's like if you're sitting there waiting for a fill, you can get it both ways. This way, it happened to the upside. Sometimes we're waiting and getting these ones on the downside. So we're going to get this all out. If we're lucky enough to get anything sub 50, then fine, because I got to make my way over to the desk at some point there. Here goes the NASDAQ. We got that number. Brendan just put that in the chat. You just talked about it there, 1.3 billion to sell. So we've actually just got out of Disney as well. We have 5% left. I was going to hold a little bit for the dream, but, we're already down here. It's already at day's low. So we could I was hoping that maybe we just took 85 and then it absolutely cratered a little bit. We can wait for that, but again, I got to clear out of most of these. So debating just taking this out. ARM on the downside, and then the TQs, we probably just got to put something out and get out of this one. So it's not the TOOs, it's the TQQQs. So right there it is right now. T-Queasy, Jay Quellen. Any D-Nices in the chat right now that we could talk about there? But I like Jay Quellen.
Obviously. I'm a big Key and Peele person. I try to tell the joke of Aaron to my daughter. She's like, "That's mean, Daddy." I'm like, really? I don't think it's kind of funny.
It's not that mean. It's just misunderstanding the pronunciation of someone's name.
Yeah. Anyways, she's very empathetic, which I think it's probably a good thing. But yeah, I don't know. I thought Aaron, man. I'm like, it's a good thing you're Aaron with an E. But I'm now out of I'm in Micron, I'm out of Nikola. Nikola does not break the high of the day ever. So 163 is a high. I was just able to get a fill up there at 161, so we'll take that trade out. I still think it's a flush through 175, 180. We'll have to cross that bridge if we get there tomorrow. We didn't get there today. Still a good long. Micron holding the pocket. We waited for that rollover. Not really doing much here at the end of the day. I thought we'd get down to 70s on that little push. But with 5 minutes to go, we are going to have to take this one out. I have a trail in here. I might just get on the bid. We're running out of time, so I'm just going to get on the bid and get out of Micron with less than 5 minutes to go now. It's been a productive afternoon. I can tell you this morning, my regret will be just the initial, that initial entry on ARM. It was the first trade of the day, and that's usually the one you like the best, and I immediately stopped it out to get back in, but had to battle back from that one. And I still kind of feel like ARM at the moment, like whatever the initial push on Instacart, I just feel like wherever that top is, just don't forget about possibly shorting ARM at that level as well. So we'll definitely have a look at that. AVGR, did we forget it? No, we mentioned it. We mentioned that Avenger thing. I made a joke about Avengers Assemble or something, but I didn't really go back to that stock because it died. So load.
Water.
Yeah, that stock gave it back up. It just, if it could have held, like if this stock holds on to 650, I probably would have looked for a long in the afternoon trade, but like right after we came on the air, this broke down. So unless you were paying for shorts and shorting that thing, I think the longs were pretty much gone. 355 hit, Palantir, 2 million to sell still, so that's probably the most interesting name on here. Like Amazon paired off, Roblox stayed as well, but Palantir, yeah, still not doing anything off that imbalance. So if it's not moving off the imbalance, it's probably just going to pair off and be a bit of a nothing burger there, unfortunately. Trader John, let's go Mets. I don't know why you want to say let's go Mets. I guess you're just a Mets fan. I'm a Jays fan over here, but yeah, I don't know who they're playing, but I could probably say let's go Mets unless they're not playing the Jays. So yeah, why not? I like Ronnie Mauricio. I have him in my fantasy league. Brendo, what's up?
Be a reaction to this, and finally, it was a little delayed, but finally, Amazon trying to go, reportedly considering a new subscription plan for its healthcare grocery service, including Medical One integration. So again, that's from Insider. New subscription service possible here for Amazon.
Interestingly enough, and that came out with a 2 million buy imbalance. Okay, no one ever knows anything in the world. Everything is on the up and up. Big volume spike and a buy. So this is a volume spike at 355, and there was a 2 million buy imbalance going into that at 350. One of the weakest stocks in the market into a 1.3 billion sell imbalance. Someone decided they were going to jam some Amazon into the closing auction, and then you get positive news coming through there. This is why we have trust issues. It's fine. I like to see Amazon to the upside. You know what? I actually would have preferred. Sometimes when you want to buy a stock or you like a stock, it's like you almost hope it goes down, because I really liked Amazon off 135. This is the kind of push that gets it back above 140, and then maybe you don't get that shot on Wednesday. I always like to have on Fed Day just levels in mind. Like, these are the stocks that if we dip, this is the stock I like at this price on the bottom. I think there'll be good liquidity there. This is where I think the buyers want to come in. So I'm really hoping for 135 on Amazon. That would be right around here. It's also your 50 period on the daily. We'll see what happens. But Derek Thompson, I won my fantasy league baseball championship yesterday. Congratulations to you. I am in the semifinals of one of my leagues, and then the other one, I have one where it's an AL and an NL team, and I had the bye in both leagues, and then once I played the second round, I lost both of them. So I basically had like first place teams in both leagues and didn't make the final, which is annoying. It always happens to me in that league. I love fantasy baseball. CCG with only 2 minutes left. I'll shout it out for you. It did break VWAP, so falls all the way. We talk about this all the time, guys. Comes all the way back down to VWAP from 200. It's easy enough to say, oh, why don't you just short it? Because what if it HKDs on you? That's why we don't trade this stock. But bouncing a little bit off VWAP, so if you like that look, maybe it gives something there. This is probably going to have like one last-ditch effort in the aftermarket and then like fade tomorrow for the rest of the day. With 90 seconds to go, remember, you're not going anywhere at 4 o'clock. You're going right over the desk with Sean. There's Stitch Fix, but there's also just great trade review and obviously talking about the markets. We're going to have Instacart later this week, and there's that marketing company, Clavia, or I don't know how you pronounce that. I think it's Clavia. That one should be also getting coming out this week as well. So it's more of an IPO week than it is an earnings week, and of course we're going to have the Fed. But with less than 1 minute to go, we have 55 to 45 flats versus drums. That's okay. I think it should be more like 70-30. I love the flats myself there. It is what it is. It is what it is. To each their own. I'm pretty sure. Oh, no, we have Fabian on the bell. Fabian's going to be ringing the bell today. Ramin is busy. And, oh, yeah. I mean, you know it's a busy day for Kat when she hasn't eaten her lunch again. No, not even a second to grab some lunch. So it's been a wild Monday. This is going to be an even crazier week. What was that? Lunch wasn't good? Oh, I mean, lunch wasn't that bad. I ate my lunch. It's free. Well, it's not really free, but I thought lunch was actually pretty good today. It was chicken, for those of you that are curious. But going over to the bell, we have Fabian on the bell. The countdown is on. It's Monday. It's been a wild one, been a fun one, but in 4, 3, 2, 1, and ring it. So Fabian leans on the Randy side of aggressive bell rings, where it's like a little bit loud in our ear and a little bit aggressive as well. So shout out to everybody. It's a lot of fun today. What does everyone think about CCG tomorrow? You're crazy, bro. That's the name in the chat. My guess is capitulation back to 10. Why not, right? Random Chinese insurance company and SPAC. It's either going to 100 or it's going to $10. There's probably no in between there. It's been a fun trade. Lots to talk about in the after show. Watch out. It should be a fun one. And then we'll be back tomorrow as always. I want to give a big shout out to Sharif. Sharif did a fantastic job filling in for Brendan while he was gone. He was back on the desk with Obi in the midday kicking butt. You saw Fabian, Ramin doing a great job on the ones and twos. We're happy to have Brendan back. I'm Neil, but let's head on to the desk because it's time for the market recap.
Hey guys, welcome to the after show. Always do a mic check to make sure that we are live. Thank you so much for joining me. It's going to be a good one. This is the recap show. All right, so not the after show, it's the recap show. And we're going to recap everything that happened here today. So let's quickly go